I'll even do this.
Share it.
Yeah,
that one.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony with Interviews with Everyday People. Yeah, that's not what we're doing at all. This is things that weren't cool in high school.
So who we're interviewing?
Yeah.
Start over.
Special guest. How do you pronounce your last name?
Murphy.
Murphy. Because you have the
umlaut.
Yeah, that's like my like gamer name.
alias.
It's Denari. See,
Denari.
right here on the back.
All right.
Oh, okay.
My custom jersey.
Is that
That's cool.
Are you a pro gamer?
Oh, I wish.
Oh, okay. You just have a cool jersey?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm working on it.
I'm digging it.
I'm working on it.
So we'll get into a little bit of that more, but welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How did you hear about us? How did you find out?
Oh, I've seen it. Advertising on Facebook. I've seen other people. Like I watched who was it? Sam Kelly had an interview with you guys, and
She's
I think
awesome.
Courtney Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I kind of want to check these out, and I figured there's a topic that I could get into. I would like to come and talk.
Yeah. So we're definitely we're in the works of putting an interview together with you as well. But I feel you also, I think, now I know of you, I really never got to met you. I was probably one of those annoying customers who just sat and talked in GameStop for a while. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, once you get talking about this kind of stuff, it just, you lose track of time. And you're like, I'm sorry, man, you probably should be doing something. And I'm talking to you for 25 minutes. But that's kind of how I was with Will too. I'm friends with Will Johnson.
Okay.
And Smitty worked there. Like I was cool with the GameStop crew, and so I knew you. Are you still at GameStop?
No. I work for a state prison now.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Probably makes a
What a
little bit more
career
money than
transition.
the GameStop.
GameStop's like once they lost a lot of their really good employees, or they started screwing over their really good employees.
That's a better word.
Like I kind of like boycotted. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to trade my games in. I'm not buying them there unless I really, really have to, because I felt like GameStop enforces their employees to do ridiculous things and make ridiculous standards. But on the same token, like me as a customer, I went to GameStop because of the relationship I built with your staff. And then you said your staff's not good enough and they got rid of them. And now it's kind of like now I have to relearn your staff when it was like Cheers, but in a nerdy way. Like,
I used to be a game crazy guy. I always went there.
Yeah, I was a game crazy guy as well.
That's how
Only
it went
because my mom bowled, and instead of hanging out at the bowling alley, I was going out and play games and demos all day long. But yeah, that's the thing with GameStop. It feels like you finally get used to your people who work there and your staff, and you know each other by name, and you develop that relationship. And then GameStop's like, we're getting rid of 3 of them, and you're like, well, that sucked.
Yeah, like being on the inside of that was a little worse, because like you're right, they do have these standards that you have to make. Like you have to get a certain amount of reservations and a certain amount of subscriptions to the magazine. But like hypothetically speaking, there's only so many people who live in an area. So if you get everybody that signs up for this magazine, then who else are you going to sign? They're going to have to change their parameters, because then nobody's going to sign it because they all have it. You're going to get fired.
I would like 2 copies a month, please.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
But at the same hand, you're right. It's like they don't like. The prime example that really cut me off from GameStop was I went there one day. I used to, even afterwards, like you said, I still had a relation because some of my buddies that I worked with were still there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go back and I'd be like, yo, I'm going to come in and get this game. They'd be like, yeah, it's cool. Well, I went there the one time, it was all brand new staff. And this guy, he comes up to me and he's like, hey, we're having a BOGO sale. He's like, you know what BOGO means? I said, yeah, I used to work here. He goes, okay, well, BOGO means buy one, get one. And I'm like, I just told you, like, you can literally step to the side and I can go get my game, get it out of the drawer, and cash myself out by the time you tell me what this is. Like, respect me.
Yeah.
And one of the things they always says is like, they have their 2 different types of buyers, like their moms who come in on holidays or whenever to get presents for their sons.
And you're trying to help them not buy the wrong game.
Yeah.
Right. But then you have your people who, like are gamers and they want to go in there for one thing and they want to get out.
Yes.
So like by being that way, especially when I told you, hey, I used to work here, it's kind of like alienating your crowd. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And the thing is that it seemed like they would try to train, like you would see like when a new person would walk in, and we used to joke around it when I was up at the Fractal Mall and somebody new would be there and I'm like, oh, you're new. And they're like, why? I'm like, because you're like a robot. I'm like, yo, let yourself loose. Like, because everybody else that worked there was really loose. Like, hey, man. And like, they would greet you by name and you'd be like, oh, cool. Did you hear about this game coming out? And they would take time out of their day to have a conversation with you. Yeah. Because like, I remember I used to sell games because I would be sitting there talking with the staff, like, yo, and we're talking about something. Like they frowned upon the staff making those interactions with people. And that's what
I think when like years ago, there was some dickheads that worked there like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you buy a game and they like talk shit on you for buying the game. I was like, come on. I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and they're talking shit about it. I was like, I'm buying this game.
Yeah.
I don't care if I want to buy Mary Kate Ashley. It's like money.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
that was the same thing with me with Dante's Inferno when I bought it in State College. One guy's like, "You don't want that game." I'm like, "The fuck I do."
Yeah, but this is Dreamcast, so 2000,
Yeah,
2000.
you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. You
Yeah.
talked me out of it.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
And like
want
the
this.
one girl's just like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Get out of here."
You know what?
I like that.
You know what turned me off too? And it wasn't the GameStop staff at all. It was a company thing. They stopped doing midnight releases. Like it used to be a midnight release for everything.
yeah, wow.
Like, hey,
Then
if,
there's only,
if
like,
three
big
games,
games like Grand Theft
games
Auto.
came out on that Tuesday, and one of them was decent, you could at least sneak your pre-order in for that other one and get it at midnight. And one of the beautiful things about a midnight release was you met new people. You can get each other's gamer tags. You can go home and play. It was easier back in the day where you just had to put your game in, didn't have to wait 6 years for it to
Yeah.
install.
Yeah, for real.
But then when it got to the point with the new downloads and then they stopped doing the midnight releases, it was like, well, then what's the incentive of me pre-ordering it here when I can pre-order it on my Xbox? It'll pre-download and then I can play it at 12:01.
Yeah.
So if GameStop would have said, hey, okay, you can pre-order the game, we'll give you the download code, start the download now, it wouldn't be, and then this way, then your staff doesn't have to be here at 12:01 unless you want a physical copy. Then you can
the
come get your-
bonuses they used to give shirts or action figures and stuff. Not
We used to-
lunchbox.
We used to have cool Madden parties. Like we used to play a copy of Madden, and you could win a copy, or you could win really cool stuff. Or like
controller something.
our giveaways. They do like Batman trivia for the Batman releases, and I'd be like, I was really excited for them. And then they just like, we're not doing it for this game. We're only doing it for like if it was like a huge.
The last one I got
Call,
was when
Call of
Switch,
Duty was the only one that was getting
when
midnight
Switch
releases.
came out. I got midnight release of that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was it.
I did Resident Evil 5.
Wow,
for
that's
midnight-
a while ago.
for-
Yeah.
Holy shit.
midnight release.
but Resident Evil 7 probably had no midnight release.
Yeah, I don't think
Probably
it did.
not. No.
And
I don't
it
think 6 did either.
Yeah, which is kind of insane.
I think Zelda did. Well, Zelda was with the Switch, so
Yeah, so that was like a.
I don't know what came out after. Probably Halo, whatever news Halo was.
But the games, I remember, I forget who it was the last, but they were a cool employee. They actually hooked me up with I was going in for the Switch, and they're like, we have none left, but I can order you one online from our website, and it'll send right to your house, and the same price you would pay for the game. With the system, you'll probably get a game and accessories. It'll be a little bit more cheaper, but it'll come right to you. I'm like,
okay.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Why not?
And that's how I got my Switch. But yeah, so news-wise, I mean, I didn't really have much from last week. I actually stole this from Will. Speaking of GameStop, Stephen King's The Eye of the Dragon is getting a Hulu show.
What is the I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know.
It's like Stephen King's medieval, like scary.
Oh, okay. But
Like
it's
cool
I wonder if it's part of the universe.
that's so dumb. The tower opens up to all those different movies. I'm like, that's stupid.
A guy who's initially slated to be on our team, he wants going through some stuff, so he had to bow out.
Mhm.
But Chris Cunningham is starting his own podcast called the Comic Cosmic Podcast.
Yeah, which I think not actually. I think it should be the other way around.
The Cosmic Comic.
Yeah, doesn't
podcast.
that sound a little flow a little better?
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, but hey, it's this podcast. Never know
Yeah.
what you want.
But they might come on and hang out with us and talk about their podcast and do
And
like,
when are they going to review movies?
I'm not sure how it's going to go yet. I think
Yeah.
they're just kind of making the pages, getting the eyes on it,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then they're going to come out with
Yeah, I
content.
like that. It looks like they're going to review Marvel movies and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what we got. Plenty of material.
Hey, it's part of my news.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Tamagotchi's back.
I never played
I've
one of
seen
those.
that.
You know what I did play with? Remember Sonic Adventure? How you could take a little egg and
Oh,
raise it?
the chows.
Yeah, remember that?
Listen, I feel so old sometimes because I was at work the other day talking to one of my coworkers about the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
And it had the VMU memory card, and you can take the chow from Sonic Adventure
yeah.
and raise it in the VMU. And I was like, they were like, I don't know what that is. I was like, it's like a Tamagotchi. They're like, what's a Tamagotchi? It's like, oh my god, oh my god,
Get out.
yeah.
But from what I was reading too, that of course with the Tamagotchi coming back, they made an app for it, but they made it like I downloaded it to just see what it'd be like, and they put everything behind paywall.
Oh.
So I was like, if you would have just gave me a Tamagotchi app, and even if I had to pay 99 cents for it, just get all the pay to pay. Like, how do you pay to play a Tamagotchi?
Well, you can.
Or like speed up how
nonsense.
hungry it gets or
Yeah,
something.
like
Like,
such.
Or like if it's uncritical, like
Are they going to actually have
life,
a physical
you know what I
one?
mean?
Like a.
yeah. So
Oh.
they're gonna make a physical Tamagotchi. I think because the app was just so poorly received.
Yeah.
Like I can only play with this for 15 minutes, and then I have to wait 4 hours, or unless I pay for
Yeah,
lives.
that's stupid.
Stop doing that with mobile games. Like I get
That's
your-
why I don't play any mobile games.
like listen, if you make a good enough mobile game that I can play for longer than 15-20 minutes and won't get destroyed with advertisements, I will pay $2 to your app, even if I've done like or buy or upgrade just to say, hey, I downloaded it, I enjoyed it, I will throw you $1
Yeah.
or $2. That's just the way I handle mobile games. But if you keep hammering me every 30 seconds, the only way I can get to the next thing, or unless I have to wait 30
Buy
years,
coins or whatever.
I hate it. I'm not a fan of that. But the Tamagotchi, actually, Pokemon's cashing in on it. So
Well, why not?
they're gonna supposedly have like an Eevee
yeah.
Tamagotchi.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and a Pikachu
Oh, why
Tamagotchi.
not? Or
Oh,
Squirtle,
because they,
Bulbasaur,
had a
Charmander.
they had a Pikachu one where you had like the walker built into it, so you did so many steps.
Oh,
I
and
do
you-
remember that.
Well, they
Yeah,
kind of
stuff.
have something like it's not Tamagotchi wise, but
Yeah.
you can take the Pokeball controller for the Switch,
Mhm.
put a Pokemon in it,
Yeah, walk around.
go
Yeah.
play Pokemon Go, and then for every spin or stop you hit and Pokemon you catch, your Pokemon in the ball that goes back to the game gets more experience.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, some people
That
walking
is
all day.
crazy.
And so people like you who beat the game and you're like, oh, I have no way to level up my
Yeah.
Pokemon anymore because I have nothing else to fight.
Yeah.
It-
I ran out of money.
Yeah, or run out of money.
You
That's
don't want to fight
that's
the Elite Four over and over again.
yeah, that's the way
Does it
around
cost
that.
money to fight the elite?
So it costs money to buy balls, and that's the only way to catch the Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So once you're out of Pokeballs, you need to go get more money.
Right.
The other way to get money
It's the
because
battle.
the random battles. Once you battle all the people, you can't battle them again. You can only battle the Elite Four, and then you have to go play, and that takes half an hour to beat the Elite
Right.
Four.
Yeah, you can't just stop
and
and
then
go
beat your
back.
rival.
Yeah,
So once you're at the end game, and there's all these like master trainers, but you
Yeah.
need a level 75 Pokemon. So a lot of your Pokemon, your Pokemon is 75.
Right.
So you have to go play the Elite Four again to go buy balls, to go catch Chansey over and over to level up your Pokemon because she gets the most experience. And like this is too repetitive.
it's so great. They made it a huge grind.
It's kind of broken at the end.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that
because-
for the new one on the Switch?
Yeah, because they got rid of
The Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
because they got rid of the money when you do random battles.
Really?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you just get experience
wow.
for your Pokemon. You don't get any
I
money.
feel like that was a misstep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they figured that out. Like, oh shit, then the game sucks.
Yeah. So Nikolai made a really cool video. I don't know if you guys seen it.
No.
He got a Lego set
Mhm.
and he likes doing stop motion because he's pretty talented at it. So he made a Lego. It's like a Jurassic Park set, like a
Mhm.
little one.
Oh, I
and
seen that,
he
but I
did
thought it
the-
was just a picture.
No, it was a stop motion video. So
Oh,
he,
stop
he
motion
built
is
he
cool.
built it all up
Yeah.
and then kind of had the Velociraptor trying to break in the door. Then the
Oh, that's
characters,
cool.
the characters kind of run
I'll
off
have to
screen.
watch
Awesome.
that.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
Nikolai made a
watch that.
cool.
Jeez,
so-
I thought it was just a picture. That's
yeah.
a
So
cool
it's like,
set.
now I want to. I want to buy
you know,
Legos.
do
And
you know how
mix.
long that takes?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like Parks and Rec, that one episode. Where I don't know if you're
So this news actually broke mid-episode, and we didn't talk about it. We just talked about it in
Oh,
the Robert Patterson, where it was a done deal, but now they're saying
It's not a done
a done deal. Which, listen, I'm at this point with Batman. They've let me down so many times. Give the guy a shot, but I don't want a young Batman again. I kind of want a seasoned vet. I like the
you gotta be 30 now, eh?
yeah, but I liked the Ben Affleck. I liked he looked seasoned. He looked like he already knew what he
Yeah.
was doing. I don't want origin.
I just don't think this guy looks like a
I don't.
Batman.
I don't either.
I mean, yeah, you can go work out.
Ben
but
Affleck
still.
was my favorite Batman of all time.
really.
I thought he
I
looked the
don't
part.
know who
I thought he
was.
looked strong. Like I always joke around. Like if I look at Batman on screen, I shouldn't feel like I'd be able to beat them up.
Yeah, you can beat up that Twilight guy.
Yeah, and I
People
get.
are like he was in
I
some
would-
good movies
Twilight,
after.
yeah.
I
I'm
love
like,
Michael Keaton, but I'm fucking smacking his mouth.
Yeah, he's
I like
especially back in the 80s.
George Clooney, like especially Christian Bale. That Batman did not fear. He struck no fear into me. Like he looked tiny. Like Ben Affleck
Yeah,
looked like
he
he might have
got
been
some muscle
chubbier,
mass,
but he
man.
looked like he could do something. You know what I mean? And his fight scenes were the best. My personal opinion.
Yeah, but it's him and the guy that played Beast and X-Men and like two other guys.
Yeah.
So like all the other people.
Yeah. My buddy's band, Fate's Got a Driver, they just did a really good article with Taking Back Sunday founder Eddie Reyes, how he was talking about how he was starting to mentally fall apart, and that's why he stepped away from Taking Back Sunday
Mhm.
and then created this new project called Fate's Got a Driver. So that's a pretty cool article you can read from altpress.com. The Boys Upstairs and the Greystone were just on PA Live.
I wonder if they got to meet that girl that like
Haley Bianco.
Yeah, Haley Bianco.
Um,
It's really
nice.
cute, but I think she's super basic.
My uncle, he actually has a
Called out.
podcast on YouTube called Old Town, or no, Dungeons. I don't know. I
What?
talked the link, but I had the links on there. It's called Old Town Road Parody Dungeons and Dragons Campaign Road. But they do, I guess, a podcast where they play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
That's
that's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swamp Thing. It looks good
The new Swamp Thing image. Did you see it?
on the
I did
DC app.
He looks really sexy.
Ooh.
His eyes glow red too.
Wow.
Yo.
I'm excited for it. I'm a
That's pretty
Swamp Thing
sweet.
fan.
The original show was not. Good.
You know who else I would like a reboot remake of? let's get the Toxic Avenger back.
Oh jeez, I like the cartoon.
Let's put him in a tutu. Let's get it back.
I mean, the movies I know are bad on purpose.
Call it
but
trauma.
Some of
Yeah.
them trauma things I can't sit through. It's just too much.
I want to see that samurai cop movie.
Kabuki Cop. Or
Kabuki cop.
Kabuki.
Yeah,
the
Kabuki,
Kabuki
cop.
Warriors.
I watched the one and it was just Kabuki. It was bad. Like I get that it's bad, but sometimes I go, this is just garbage.
It's just like too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much.
It's just pure garbage.
It's like that borderline between cheesy and garbage.
Yeah.
Cheesy garbage.
And then the last bit of news I have, and then we can get into what if you guys have anything that you heard over the hold on.
A plane's going by.
Is that what that is?
I don't know.
Freaked me out.
So I was like, what is that?
I can't win
Some
with that garbage truck.
He's just like, oh shit.
It does sound like a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
they're looking for a criminal, I guess.
I think it's the fridge. I don't hear nothing.
No, it's definitely not the fridge. It's gone now. So obviously tonight's episode with James here. Tomorrow we do we reveal our winner for Money in the Bank, the papers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did reveal it on our page, but Andy did win.
Oh, did you? I was
Yep.
I don't know if it is.
And then we're gonna talk a little bit of
Call
Outbreak
that
Wrestling.
Bailey.
Yeah, Outbreak Wrestling, and we're gonna do another paper for AEW
Mhm.
Double or Nothing.
Yeah, the other papers are pretty cool.
Yeah, and we might have the people who created the
Yeah.
paper call in and
And
give us a little.
what's their name?
It's called Pro Wrestling Scorecards. So you go on their website or all their social media, and they make there's actually the paper there, but they give you a pick'em sheet, and it says oh, here's the whole wrestling card, and you pick the winner. But then they have these fun little stipulations like how long does the match go,
Yeah,
how
for
many
bonus
near
points.
falls, is there going to be interference, all these cool little bonus
It
points.
reminds me of the D&D character sheet.
It does. And it's a lot of fun, and it enhances your watch. And you don't have the whole time stare at your paper or stare at the screen, because at the very end they release all of it for you, so you don't have to pay attention and just wait till the very end. And kind of off topic, but they did the ladder match, and we all seen Ricochet's fingertip hit it and swing it a little bit. So then they put on first the touch case was Finn Balor, and I said, I think Ricochet touched it, and they're like, we have to go back and look. And they went back and looked after my tweet and said, you were 100% right. Ricochet touched that case. So I got a few more points, would put me in second. But yeah, they do all these really cool things. So hopefully they're going to come in, talk with us one day. Friday, we're going to be at Culture to Culture, interviews with everyday people, doing a live event there with some awesome background noise and our terrible mics. And then after that, we're going to go to Goodfellas Warehouse, Apollo 88, Look Alive, Terry James, and No Rain Check, Austin, from our
And
podcast.
that's Friday night.
Yep, Friday night.
Wow.
Are all going to be playing. It's a pretty cool lineup.
What time does that start? 9
or 9,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah. And then Sunday we have Banging Beers with Amber Hoffman. She's dating Chris. Chris.
I asked who she was
Eddie Collins.
before.
Eddie Collins.
and
I
I
don't know
forget.
why I'm looking at Crowbot and I'm just thinking Chris Bishop.
She's dating a blue pig.
Yeah. She's dating Eddie EC3. She's dating EC3, who's on the road right now with Crowbot, and that's why I don't know why I did that.
Is she the girl that she's blue hair in her picture that you shared? Or is that another girl?
Blue hair and the lip.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she has
The
blue hair
dermal.
now.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
Everyone you've managed to interview, or I'm not friends
Super
with,
cool
and I just
chick.
don't
She
know,
does
except for Courtney.
tattoos and piercings.
Yeah, Amber's awesome.
Yeah, awesome chick.
Sours and porters.
And
That's what
it's
our
the
episode's
only,
gonna be.
it's the first Banging Beers. We're not doing any IPAs, and we're doing all stuff I don't like. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah. So any other news that you guys heard about, or something you're excited about that's maybe coming out? Aladdin comes out tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're excited
I
about
don't
that.
care at all.
I do. I like Will
Really?
Smith. I
Yeah?
want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did anyone see Detective Pikachu yet?
not yet.
No.
I
I
want
heard
to
it's
see it.
good.
I
heard-
I'd like to see it.
I heard good things.
I have to see it because Ryan Reynolds. It's
Yeah.
Pikachu. Like, how
And
do
the
you say no
Pokemon
to
look
that?
really good.
They do. The only one, the Jigglypuff looks a little weird.
Well, I think a lot of
But
them looks
it's on
weird
purpose.
because you didn't expect them. From what I heard is
Yeah, a
that
real life version.
the creators of Pokemon said this is our first time that we can actually make the Pokemon appear as if how we vision them.
Yeah.
Because in the video game and cartoon, you couldn't really tell if a Pokemon was hairy or had fur because
Yeah,
it was just one solid
Yeah,
color.
yeah.
So they said that some of them may look different from what you're used to as your childhood because you never seen them in a real life version.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Jigglypuff is furry.
you
know
think
what I mean?
Jigglypuff would be like Kirby?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that
Just a
too,
solid. Well, if they made a Kirby movie, would he be
No, he'd
No,
be,
he wouldn't be-
fleshy.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
he would
flesh
be-
like
Yeah.
now? Imagine that in CGI. That would
I
be
think he'd
fucking
be-
terrifying.
Well,
I think it'd be like velvety.
No, you make it like
velvety.
the people in what's the superhero CGI one? Frozone. I can remember.
Oh,
The
The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Make it look like them. You know.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know.
if they made him look like the Pokemon movie
Yeah.
and he's fleshy,
Yes.
Kirby would be made of nightmares.
You can make him cutesy. You don't give him people eyes. You give him the dot eyes. You know, like you know how they did Sonic.
If they try to make him
Yeah.
humanized like
Yeah,
Sonic,
Yeah.
he would be a fucking nightmare. Like
Sonic.
terrifying looking.
There's that meme where Kirby has no shoes on. He has human feet. It's like, it looks so funny.
That's
Oh,
yo,
And like big human feet.
Kirby's a scary character.
That's
He's
like,
almost as scary as like Pac-Man.
Kids just eat
You ever look
things.
at the picture of Diglett since we're on Pokemon, and they say it's like one of those things that you can't unsee when you see it.
Yeah.
Where it has that little white spot on his nose. If you look at it, it looks like a single tooth.
Okay, yeah, it does,
So
yeah.
that looks like its mouth.
So it looks like
yeah.
it has a mouth with just one tooth,
Oh.
and you're just like you can't unsee it. Like
Yeah.
me talking about it, now you're thinking about it, but wait till you look at it. Wait till you pull up a picture of
And then
Diglett.
it no longer becomes its nose.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a one tooth worm.
Oh,
It's strange.
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
I think I want to do an episode
A Pokemon.
of Pokemon, but like the scariest Pokemon. Because if you read
Scyther.
some of the Pokemon's bios,
Oh, Cubone.
some of them
Yeah.
are really scary. Like some of the
Cubone.
Pokemon like lure kids into the woods and eat them.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
they gotta make bad guy Pokemon.
yeah, but I mean like some of them go get real
Yeah.
dark. Like real dark.
They're probably thinking like, hey, we're gonna make a cool design, but no one's gonna read what they're all about. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna
right.
throw it
Yeah.
and see how many
So
people catch on.
we were at my buddy's house, Josh, the night, speaking of Pokemon, and we found a. Is that me or you?
No, it's the one random phone calls. It's
Oh.
probably like for car insurance or house
Yeah.
insurance.
So we were watching. I don't know why he typed it in, but he typed in Pokemon cock,
why?
and to our surprise, there is a bootleg homemade version of Pokemon called Pokemon cock.
Oh, I was gonna say there's a Pokemon porno. I've seen that.
Yes,
and the
and-
dude bangs all the EVs.
It's Pokemon Red or Blue, whatever
Uh-huh.
one you want to pick, and it is they went in and redubbed the whole game that everyone says the most ridiculous things.
Oh my goodness.
And
Homebrew.
instead of collecting all the Pokemon, Professor Oak likes to have sex with Pokemon.
Oh God.
So your job is to them all.
Oh,
And if
my.
you don't fill up the Pokedex and go beat the Elite Four, Professor Oak threatens to kill your mother and bang her while you're gone.
Oh wow. How
Yeah.
about that?
Which one first?
Yeah.
yeah, which one first is
I
right?
feel like this
And
is
your
an interesting
rival
question.
has the same mission, or he's going to rape his sister and his mom, then kill them both.
Oh, like,
So the whole time, like,
Well, that's-
why
that's
did you
his
beat
mom.
me? He's
Yeah,
gonna
go ahead.
he's gonna kill my mom, you
Yeah.
jerk. Like, so YouTube Pokemon cock, I think it's like
Mm.
13
oh
episodes.
my God.
It's pretty funny. Like this, and the guy reads
Who
it.
had the time? To
I don't
do
know,
all
but
that?
you can go on eBay and
the
buy
homebrew.
a homebrew cartridge
Yeah.
for the original Game Boy or Game Boy Advance Pokemon cock.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's funny. Watch it on YouTube.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's hilarious. We watched it. We were kind of drunk, and we're like, "This is a thing. This is strange."
This is
But
a thing.
any other news that you guys have anything that caught your attention?
Showing there's like no real shows. A lot of wrap it up like Arrow and stuff is closing for this season.
Yeah, they don't.
I like Flash, but I fell off on all of them.
Yeah, me too.
There was a Justice League new cartoon movie. It's called Fatal Five. I didn't buy it. I just looked at it. I was like, oh, that looks cool, but I don't know who
I-
the Fatal Five are.
So I always say I'm gonna watch something new on Netflix. Like I'm gonna go on there and I'm gonna
Mhm.
watch something,
I watched two things. I'll tell.
and then Netflix turns around and either says, "Here's The Office," and then I get stuck watching all 10 seasons again in a row, or they say, "We have a new prison TV show."
Okay.
And I watch every like Locked Up. I mean, you probably don't watch it because you work.
No,
like,
yeah.
that's your situation.
Yeah.
But I am obsessed with it.
Really?
You know, I've watched a couple, and part it's not normally.
But this obviously you don't have to. But like you're a very personable guy,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
you enjoy making conversations and meeting new people. We're kind of like the same person in that aspect. But you have to like rewire your brain to work there. Like you can't go make friends with people in there
Right.
because they will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Is that a
Yes.
hard thing to chain yourself to do?
Sort of, especially because like there are guys there who are just smooth talkers,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just like they will
They're
get stuff,
trained criminals.
yeah, and they'll get stuff out of you, and you have no idea like
Mm.
that you're giving up any information, but then they get you, you know, or it's just it could be something along the lines of, hey, you know, man, like I see I'm going up there, and I know they got the menu up, they got like hot dogs or something up there. Bring me back a hot dog. It's all right. You're like the hot dog, whatever. So you bring back a hot dog, and he may give you something for it. Like I don't know, he may give you like a soup, and then he'll be like, "Well, now you owe me." If you take that soup from him, now it's like we'll be like, I got you this. You know, I got you this hot dog. He's like, well, that wasn't enough. No, I want more. And he's like, if not, then I'm going to tell him that you took stuff from me. So it's like they may play you like that. So it's best to just
not talk.
yeah,
to
like
anybody.
not. I mean, you can. There are some dudes there who are respectable and who I would consider for
Model
being,
inmates.
Yeah, for being an
Model
inmate
inmates.
as trustworthy as they can be. Now, am I going to tell them about my personal life or anything
No,
like that? No.
Never.
But there are some dudes there, and I have one specifically in mind. I won't mention any names, but
Yeah.
he's so like trusted there, not only by other roommates but by the staff, that the one staff member will tell him stuff to tell us. You know? So, and he's been down for like 40 some years. He's just
Is he a lifer?
yeah,
Yeah.
juvenile lifer. Actually, he may get out, may not get out. Who knows?
So he's been there since a juvenile.
Yeah, I think he was 18, and he's how old is he? I think he's 52, 53
Imagine,
maybe.
that's crazy. Living in jail your whole life.
And here's the sad part about that. Like, not many jails are rehabilitating. They're just
No.
kind of just a daycare.
Exists.
So even if you're just like, hey, you've like, he is 52. He went in at 18. If he came
Yeah.
out in the real world right
I don't know
now,
what to do.
he didn't. What the fuck's a cell phone?
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole generation of technology and a life that is completely different from the age of 18 to 52.
And he has zero skills.
And he is like, if he were to be introduced into society, he would be completely lost.
Yeah.
Completely lost. Like, think about that. Like, you went into a location, and it's kind of like he is a prisoner version of Captain America. Like, he went into he was frozen
Yeah.
and came back.
You know,
and,
some stuff.
and he came back to a world with like the internet
Yeah.
and phones. Like,
Yeah,
that wasn't there when he was 18.
Yeah,
If he's
that's something-
52,
yeah.
they have.
that's a crazy thing to think about.
They've started doing some stuff which I like. I can understand, but I also like don't really agree with. The prison system in itself, without getting into too much, is getting soft.
Yeah.
On because I mean, my father worked there for 20 years,
Mhm.
and he said back in the heyday of prisons, he's like, if you had a problem with a dude, it wasn't like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to talk to you, and then you're going to respect me because this is what I am. It was like, no, I'm going to go into your cell, and I'm going to two-piece you, and then you're going to behave from now on. You know what I mean? Now there's too many cameras, and I'm not saying that every inmate deserves to get beat down, but there are some guys there who need an attitude check and they need to be put in their place.
Yeah.
And there's just no way. Even sometimes now it's just like people do things. There was a captain not too long ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Then he
who
got stabbed.
Well, that guy. That was a what was he? He was a sergeant. He got stomped out with Timberlands and he died. But there was a captain that I worked at my jail who was in his rights to spray this dude with OC because he was acting out, and he sprayed him. And then about a day later, they were like, "Get him out of here. We want him the fuck out." They didn't give him. He was on shift. They said he has an hour to clean his office out. Get him out.
Wow. Because I don't know if it was a Monte City or Fractal prison not too long ago. A guard was, or a lieutenant or someone was stabbed. He was shanked.
It had to be fractal. I didn't.
It happened not too long ago. I remember seeing on the news. But I mean, that's crazy. And I mean, so you're at Monte City.
Mm-hmm.
I remember taking a tour of Monte City, and I had to work there for a little bit when I worked in plumbing and heating. And I had to sit in a boiler room that was on the jailhouse, like in the thing, but it was like not connected. So every now and then PP&L would shut down the power plant for like 2 or 3 days, and the entire jail was powered by this giant boiler and then they hire I won't say the company, but they hire someone to sit there and watch this giant boiler. Like, you're not even allowed to fix it. Like, you're just there. If something goes wrong, you make a call immediately. They give you tools. Like, you're gonna fix. Like, it was crazy. And I got stuck doing it the first year because I was the new guy, and you literally just sit in this room for like 12, 15 hours and just listen to a boiler run, and you can't sleep. Like, you can't sleep, you can't do anything. And I remember just like kind of losing my mind and thinking like I was hearing things. So the whole time, I'm sitting there I had to do it like 3 nights in a row. So by the third night, I feel like I was going insane.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I kept thinking I hear the door open or someone bang on the door, and I'd be like freaking out. So then finally I'm sitting there and it's like morning time, and I think I hear the door open, and I'm like, the door didn't open. And then I see a shadow, and I'm like, and I turn, and there's 4 prisoners.
Really?
Huge. like wrestlers, big. Like 4 huge dudes. And I just remember looking, and there was no dude with, like, no one was with them.
Guard or anything?
And all they said was, yeah, fresh meat. And I was, at the time, I'm 18.
Yeah.
And I had pipe wrenches. and I literally picked him up, and like I said, I'm already kind of going crazy. And at the time, I was a fighter, and I just thought to myself, they're not like I'm going out fighting, right? So I like picked up the pipe wrench and I start walking towards them because like I'm not gonna run. I just don't want to run. And then the guy's like, and they're like, yo, like they're like telling me to chill. And then the guy came in, he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like the guard sent them in to mess with me. I guess they were like work release guys and stuff, but he sent them in to mess with me because he just seemed like this 18-year-old kid just sitting there losing his mind at a table. And he's like, yo, we're just messing with you. I'm like, man, I sat in this room for 14 hours. Like, I'm losing my mind overnight in here. And like, and then I just see 4 huge dudes walk in. And they're like, at least we know you're scrappy. I was like you would have killed me, but I would quit. Somebody was getting him with a pipe wrench. That was it. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. But I watch it all the time on Netflix. They have a new one called Jailbirds. I just watched. Most of it is revolved around the prison, the female section of the prison, but it's
probably think it's higher ratings, you know.
Yeah. But they toilet talk because I guess there's like levels to the prison, so they can like take the water out of the toilet and then put and talk into the toilet.
That's kind of funny.
And it's like a cell phone. Like they can talk from the
cans in a string.
They can talk from like they can talk to like the 3rd floor down to the 1st floor.
God.
And then if the guys get mad because the girl doesn't toilet talk them, they'll put what's called a parachute in the toilet system. And what it does is they'll flush it like 4 times and it doesn't let any of the water come down. So if the girls are on the 7th floor, there's like maybe 13 floors, everything on those 13 floors dumps into the female section.
Oh God.
And floods the whole prison, and there's like turds and everything coming out. But yeah, it's a really interesting show. It's on Netflix. But
I finished Too Good and Dirty. I thought that was pretty good.
Did you like that one?
You flew through it.
Yeah, you watched it.
Yeah, I literally flew through it. No pun intended.
Yeah. He heard animated boobies, and he went
the
right
one
for
episode gets a little deep. The second to the last, I'm like, oh, geez.
Right?
Who was the main dude? Glenn from The Walking Dead's a voice.
Yeah, Steven Yeun.
He's one of the girls' boyfriends.
Okay.
Speckle.
Yeah. I liked him.
I don't know who the girl. I don't think the girls are famous.
No, they are not. The one girl had a Netflix special. She's Asian, and the other
that
one
has to be Birdie.
The other one,
Tuca.
Yeah.
I just heard that there's a season that's on his last season this year, and I forget they said the name of it. I'm like, oh, I can't believe that's coming to an end. I want to say, is it Broad City or is that already over?
Big Bang Theory. I never.
Broad City over.
Yeah,
there's like 2 or 3 shows that are ending this year,
and as well.
I think it ended already. I think it was last week.
Yeah.
Gotham just ended, right?
Yeah,
that just ended. Gotham.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Yeah. And then another cartoon came up. It's like it was called what was it? Cupcake and Dino. And I watched it. And I don't know.
Not that great.
More for kids. I thought it was an adult one, but there was no cursing. And it wasn't really weird. I'm like, I'm not into this. So I kind of skipped that. I just watched the first episode and I was done. And then I watched the first episode of New Girl because I think of Zoe Deschanel.
Oh, Heidi's obsessed with that show.
She's so cute.
Yeah, Heidi loves that show.
I watched the first episode. Pretty good. I know I'm like 6 years behind.
I feel like the one dude from the New Girl would be a really good, like, serial killer.
Oh, the main, the douchebag guy?
Yeah, the one with the black hair. I feel like
because there's him and then I watched the first episode. There's the guy, like, he's upset because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Yeah, I feel like he would be
the waitress
really good,
from Always Sunny.
Or even like the Ted Bundy thing. Like when they cast Zac Efron, I was like, all right, I'm cool with it, but I would have picked the dude from Always Sunny, the guy who plays Dennis.
Okay, yeah.
I thought he would have been an awesome Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
He has a better.
And he flips out.
Zac Efron was too jacked to be Ted. I don't think Ted Bundy was 6-pack abs.
No,
giant pecs. I think the guy who played Dennis would have been a better fit, and he would have played a fucking awesome Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
that would be my dream casting. But is there anything you're watching now that you're into that you would like let people know, or maybe put somebody onto it?
No, I'll tell you what. The only thing it's hard for me to get into episodic shows, but some of the stuff that I have watched and I need to get back to. I started watching Black Mirror.
That's an awesome show.
Yeah, my fiance got me. She's like, well, she knows I'm such a gamer, so she's like, watch this one episode. And
the VR one.
What was it?
Was it like where they're in a haunted
house?
Yes, that was a cool.
That was so crazy. And like, I hate spiders, man.
Oh yeah.
So then it's like there's this one spider, and have you seen it? This episode? It's insane. And not to like spoil too much of it, but there's this spider, and because they say this thing manifests your fear in your brain, and then just makes things that you're afraid of to scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So I guess he's afraid of spiders because one shows up and he tries to step on it, but it knows where it's going to put its foot. Yeah. He keeps trying to step on it, and it's like,
it's like an ultra like VR, except it's not like a thing.
Yeah.
Like they literally put like a I don't know. I forget how they did it. It was awesome though.
I think they put like they had a ring around this chair, and then they put like something in
your brainstem.
in his
Oh,
in the
okay.
back of his
That's
neck.
what it was.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Matrix.
It's the animus.
Yeah.
And then it was just like it eventually evolved into this huge spider with his like childhood enemy's face on it,
That's
and it
kinda
had
cool.
like 4 prongs, almost
Yeah.
like an elite from Halo. And he's like, "Oh, well, okay, you got me." But like the end of that episode was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So I'm a huge Black Mirror fan, and I think I always described it as a modern day Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, cool, they're making the Twilight Zone, and they put it behind a paywall with CBS.
Yeah, and you're like,
I'm like, not
I'll
watching
never
it.
see that.
Like, unless I find a way to bootleg it, I will. I'm not paying for TBS
Yeah.
service. Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm not paying for just like I'm not paying $20 a month to watch one show.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that TBS is gonna offer me that I'm like, oh, I need that.
Yeah, I'd like to watch Doctor Who, but I'm not getting the BBC service. For
Yeah,
that, just for
not
that.
a chance. Not a chance.
Wasn't it on Netflix anyway?
No, they
Doctor
took
Who?
it all off.
What?
I think when the BBC
wow.
made their thing, yeah. And that's what I was watching. Like, okay, here we go. 3 seasons down. Oh, it's gone.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Toodaloo.
Yeah, I'm not getting BBC.
And then what else? What else have you been into?
Oddly enough, like I said, I watched Orange is the New Black. I have to get current on that. Prison Break was another one, and then How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay,
How to Get Away with
Prison Break was tough for me. My wife was watching it, and I started watching it with her, but that one dude's voice, I feel like it's
Captain
so
Cold?
fake.
I know the
Like
one.
everything he has to talk is like this.
Oh, maybe that's Heatwave.
And
I say I know the 2 guys from
and I'm
Flash.
Yeah,
Heatwave.
he's
You
the
mean
one guy
main
from Flash.
character?
Yeah, he's like the
Both of them
skinnier,
are.
the skinnier brother, not the
that's,
jacked one.
Okay, that's
The
Captain
one who's
Cold.
always like,
Oh, Wentworth Miller.
I'm gonna come in here.
He kind of
I
has
just like, stop doing that. Like he's like trying to be like Clint
he's
Eastwood.
gimmicky. Like,
Yeah,
even in Flash, he's like that too.
yeah.
Captain
It's
Cold.
I
You
watch him.
would
I'm like,
say
you are
that,
so
wouldn't you?
fake.
You know,
Like,
now I've never
The
I've never
way-
zoned in on that, but now that you say it,
It's-
I'm playing it back in my head, and I'm like, holy shit.
It's almost like when how he cuts a promo.
Yeah.
Oh, Flash.
That's exactly what it reminds me of. As soon as the
you
camera
can get
hits
one
him,
over on
he's
me.
like, I'm sure he's like, hey guys, oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm here, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna break into this prison and get
How-
my brother out.
yeah,
and sick, and I'm gonna save the day.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, cool, you're gonna play a villain now in Flash.
Yeah.
Give us something completely different.
He's the same character.
I'm now the villain.
Yeah.
And the Flash.
Heatwave is good though. The
Yeah.
big Jack guy.
Yeah, his brother's really
Yeah.
good. His brother was good in the show too. But I just every time he turned on, and there's another show she watched too, where it's like vampires.
True Blood?
It's like a vamp. No, we watched True Blood up until the point where everyone now was something supernatural, and it lost its charm.
Mm.
Like everybody was something now. Like it started off with just vampires and werewolves, and then fairies, and then this guy
They added
became
all kinds of things.
Then this guy became a werewolf, and then these guys will wear panthers,
Oh, God.
and then this guy was a trans. Like there was no normal humans left on the show,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not into it no more.
I never watched the
It was
one
like
episode.
X-Men, but
Everyone's mutant.
half the
But
people
horror.
were vampires,
Yeah.
and they were trying to fight for human rights to be like living amongst us.
Okay. Yeah.
So it started off really cool, and then it just got added. And then there's like demons and like people who were necromancers and witches, and it just got to the point where like there was just too much.
Mhm.
There was too much going on. But yeah,
Never
no, I think
watched
it's called Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
But that's the guy too. Like the one guy in that show, he always has to like put this weird eyebrow. Like he looks like he has such bad plastic surgery.
Like
that-
The Rock, like a double people's
yeah,
eyebrow?
but it goes up, but like
People's
slants
eyebrow.
super hard down like a wizard.
Oh, like an
and he has,
elf.
like-
wizard.
And he
He's
has
an
really,
elf.
he has really bad plastic surgery, and his lips are always like.
Oh, I didn't.
I have to look it up. I'll show you.
Oh
But
my
that's
God.
You know what? I want to watch the Netflix Carmen San Diego. I want the cartoon.
That's a new thing, right?
Yeah. I saved it to my list. I'm like, well, I didn't get to watch it yet.
Well, I don't know if we talked about it last episode, but Netflix got the rights now to Rocko's Modern Life
Yeah.
and Invader Zim,
Yeah.
Oh, Rocco's Modern
and they're
Life.
gonna
Which,
be
when are they going up? Because I would imagine there'd just be a dump. Here you go.
yeah, like
I'd say
I think
Rocco
they
maybe,
have
only
to
had,
make
like,
them first.
maybe along the lines of the end of the year.
Rocco had about
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
seasons. I don't think he was on for that long.
I thought it was on for longer than that.
I don't know. Like it might have
I think
been
it was
like
the,
in
the
syndication.
hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh
is
no,
that
no, it's
were-
definitely not Vampire Diaries. I know what it is. I think it's Supernatural.
Oh, well, that's the whole gimmick. It's the brothers that go after all the different supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
Nope, it's definitely Vampire. No, Supernatural's the same dude. Hey,
Hey,
I'm in Supernatural now.
No, that's that
I'm
different
the
guy.
villain now.
That's
He
not
looks like him,
Captain
though.
Cold, but he kind of
But he looks like him.
The other guy would make a great Gambit. The tall
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
I always
yeah.
said that he'd be great Gambit.
This guy, this dude right here, with like
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't know him.
yeah, like super plastic surgery, and that's his
You know
face.
that looks like the cover of a romance novel.
That the show, that's all the show is.
Oh god.
But
no, thank you.
Yeah, the whole show is just him making this face, like I'm really pretty. Look at me.
I'm in Vampire Diaries.
You remember me from Prison Break?
And he sits there while people wait to answer him. He's like,
yeah.
you remember me,
He
right?
raises the eyebrow.
My eyebrows are invincible. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else? Like, I mean, I can't really think. Every time I watch something, I'm like, I watched that. I'm gonna talk about it, and then I get here and I'm like, gone.
It's like
That's
a
the only
fucking
couple things
wash.
I
I know.
watch.
Like I watch a whole bunch of
So much happens in a week.
I don't-
different stuff. And
I don't watch too much, but
Like,
I've been listening to a lot
Too
of the
converted, for
podcast.
sure.
I've been plugging a lot. That
Oh, okay.
Murder My Dude.
Yeah.
So I've just finished. I'm on episode 10.
Do they do one week or
No,
one,
they're
one whenever?
they're starting to pick it up again, but they have, I think, total like 18 episodes. So I'm slowly getting caught up. They want me to listen to the newest 2 for now because I think they gave us a plug, and I'm like, I can't. I want to like.
Build
Well,
up.
it's not like it's a episodical
No,
story.
you don't have to. But for me, I like watching it from the
You
beginning.
figure not you'll get lost.
And
maybe?
no, because I think because those type of podcasts, if you listen from the beginning and work your way to the newest episode, you build a relationship with the people on the podcast. Like if someone were to listen to our episodes, like if someone is listening tonight for him, I'd be like, oh, kind of go back and see some of our other stuff because you're going to learn a little bit about us. And I think that's a cool thing about podcasts where, yeah, you can turn in every week and we have a different topic. And as long as you get the idea of what our show is about or the concept or our kind of like our segments. But I mean, it's with a podcast, you kind of learn about that person a little bit. So that's why I listen from the beginning. I think they're really cool. But they're from Pottsville. Murder My Dude. I know we talked about before, but they have a topic every week, and then they talk about the topic, and then they kind of go on weird rants like us every now and then, where they'll be like, "Hey, like this guy's name was Ahmed," and they'll be like Ahmed Johnson, and then they go on like a 15 rant about Ahmed Johnson.
That's funny.
And then they'll get back to their topic. Then they have like This Week in Murder, where they talk about some weird murders that happened or weird deaths that happened in that week. And then they have a game at the end where they say who died the worst, and they have
said about that,
3 deaths, and they find the worst one.
The
one I just heard today was insane. So this guy is a lawyer, and he was defending his client for a murder case, and they were saying that there's no possible way that the person could have killed themselves. It had to have been a murder. And the lawyer took the gun out of evidence and tried to show the courtroom that it can be done, and you can kill yourself. And the gun was still loaded, and he blew his head off in court and died.
Oh God!
Did he win?
He did. The guy got off like the best lawyer ever.
Yeah,
the best. Yeah,
and you don't even have to pay him.
Yeah.
No, it was a free case.
Talk about a one-hit wonder.
Like, could you imagine the judge like he just like bang, and he's like, do you guys need to go in the room? Because I think he just proved it. Like, uncuff that man. Uncuff him.
I think
Could you imagine sitting in court? And just be like,
and seeing that,
and just bang, and you're like, and like the family.
Yeah.
The family's obviously angry because they think that he murdered their family member, and then they watch what he's trying to prove. They're like,
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, dude. like, my bad.
Oh my God.
Like, it's obviously
Just
not
imagine
funny.
like if he did it like facing the audience.
Yeah,
Right? So we sit here, and then here goes and then the judge is like, case dismissed.
Just spray to a blood.
like Evil Dead.
Like, it's obviously not funny that someone died, but that is that's a sketch right there.
That's insane. That's actually insane.
And he got off. He got off on the murder charge, which he should have. Yeah. The therapy forever.
Well, I listened to Jericho's podcast today, and he talks about all lead up to Double or Nothing, which is pretty good. Remember how he did one by himself? I don't know if you listened to that one. We talked about how he left WWE and everything. So that's.
I listened to one where he was being interviewed by somebody.
Oh, there's one where he tells his whole story. It's just him. It's really good. Yeah, it was like a couple months ago. He talks about leaving WWE and then what happened, and then why he signed with AEW and the whole like.
Well, he was getting a lot of creative rights that weren't going. Like, he was trying to make pitches that weren't going anywhere.
Yeah, and then they weren't using him. It's like, me, Kevin Owens, we opened WrestleMania, made this great storyline, blah blah.
Yeah,
and it's like how Vince how he thought he'd go one way, but then they kind of like forgot about him. They weren't calling him. He's like, well, then fuck you. Then I'm gonna go here.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Anyway, this podcast is like that one. It's all lead up to Double or Nothing.
I love Jericho. I can listen to him talk about anything.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 20.
I think when it's all said and done and that guy retires, he will go down as, in my opinion, as one of the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just like, what has he not accomplished?
Yeah.
Like, if he wins the New Japan World title,
which everyone's saying no, he doesn't. But I'm like, what if he does? What if he does?
Why? If you're New Japan
for a couple months,
if you're New Japan, why wouldn't you put the title on him?
And then you get all that exposure. He's
Exactly.
walking around the belt.
And
my
then
God,
AEW is a new hot thing, and
There's the IWGP champion.
and the
Oh my God.
IWGP, like, what if All Elite becomes a thing where like the Ring of Honor and the New Japan champions can show up on there?
Yeah,
Like, that's television gold. It's awesome.
I think it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be 3 against 1.
Yeah. But
With W-
It
yeah,
really can be.
it could be. Why not?
It's like
Against
it's
one.
kind of like we're talking nerdy talk, because I hope people who don't
Yeah,
because there's people who just despise wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
Like they're like, oh my
get
God,
it.
here they go
I
again.
get it. I hate
Yeah.
football. So
Yeah, but like in comic book talks, it's like I'm a huge fan of the Green Lantern run,
Mhm.
but then Batman shows up, and then they see in the little bottom, like, if you want to see what else happens here, tune into buy
the
this
Justice
issue.
League, yeah.
And it's like, well, then they're like, well, we'll continue this episode, but this really happened where it's now going to tie into Justice League 35, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, now I gotta go buy like that can
And they
be
do that,
professionally
yeah.
wrestling. Like, now I gotta tune into New Japan because
I gotta see what he does.
yeah, Jericho's now in New
Yeah.
Japan and in our AEW. Like,
It's just smart to all work together. Why not?
I would agree.
But that speaking of podcasts, and I'm looking for a good video game podcast where they review games, talk about them. I cannot find it.
I see.
I found one with a bunch of girls, but then they start like talking other stuff, like just talk about the video game.
Yeah.
And then there's one that guys review old games, but
What?
Ben has one.
No, we could do it.
But yeah, but like
We could do it.
Oh,
I know.
we kind of do.
don't-
It takes a
I
lot of
mean,
time though, because like
still,
okay, let's say
just
we're gonna buy
a video
Okay,
game.
here.
And just
Mortal Kombat 11. We'll
Let
to
them
review it full. We have to play the whole game.
Yeah,
We're not gonna
100%.
do that one day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, of
and, like,
course.
yeah.
A lot of those podcasts also they don't have to work 40-hour jobs.
Yeah.
They can sit and play a video
But,
game all
but if
day
it's
long.
like two dudes and they're reviewing like a game from 10 years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like that.
Not that I want to do it, but I want to listen to one like that. Kind of like
Yeah.
Angry Video Game Nerd, but without all the gimmick.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
I
I'm
don't
a
know
big
if anyone
fan.
knows of one, let me know.
I'm a big fan of Unlocked,
I don't know.
but it's an Xbox podcast.
Okay.
But
But I mean, most games are for both.
it is, but they
Percentage of exclusives is
they
very
do
low.
they do
And that
heavily
sucks,
talk
kind of.
about
because I missed
Yeah,
exclusive.
it used to be
Mhm.
big, but I mean, what? There's a handful for each.
And what was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one? What was that?
exclusives.
Oh, exclusive.
Yeah,
exclusive
yeah.
games.
Like that was, I mean, it's great because now people who were saying, "Oh, Xbox is better because of this," like I was one of those dudes because I was always an Xbox dude. So you have your Halo, your Fable, your Gears of War, and
Yeah.
I was like, "What on PlayStation touches these titles?" And now they have a few answers to that question. Before I didn't think you
Yeah,
did.
and
Like-
it's sad because now they're like, PlayStation has all these exclusives and Xbox has zero. Zero? That's a bit much. Like, to say Xbox has zero exclusives, and when people say that, I'm like, you have no argument.
Halo.
Well,
Like,
you have Halo
pops
Gears,
right in your head.
Halo, Gears,
Forza,
Forza.
yeah.
Like, there's about the same amount. Like, there's about five
It's about the same.
major.
Nintendo
Like,
has way more.
yes.
you know?
Well, and
Yeah.
and PlayStation has good ones, but most of them the only ones who get really, really high exposure and really, really high ratings is Naughty Dog. Everything else that comes out, they're mediocre. Explore like 1878 that you brought,
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
not that great.
I was just about to say that game. I don't
It's
listen.
such a letdown.
I
Such a
am-
letdown.
You're hurting my feelings
Oh,
real
really?
bad. I loved
Really?
that game.
Really,
Well, I thought it was one of the best PlayStation exclusives I
Really?
played in the past 10 years.
you know what my favorite one was, and it didn't get good reviews. I liked Until Dawn,
I don't think I played it.
but because Until Dawn to me was Heavy Rain, and I loved Heavy
Oh,
Rain.
I loved Heavy Rain.
I didn't like Heavy Rain. at all.
Jason.
Jason!
He's just looking for the fucking
Yeah.
balloon.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about. What really got me with the order was the graphics, and I
The
remember
graphics were awesome.
I remember
That's the one thing I did say.
playing the game, and what he opens up getting waterboarded, right? Or is that the end?
I don't know.
I think it's when it opens
I
up.
forget.
I think it's
So
when
you said it was very visually appealing, but you watched more than you played.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
And the
enjoyable
whole,
to watch though. The
Yeah.
thing that really got me, I think, at the third level, you're doing like an infiltration on a zeppelin or a blimp, whatever you want to call it, and it starts off with they're rappelling down the side of it, and then your character just stops, and he's talking to the other characters, and I'm still thinking this is a cutscene, and I'm like, okay, I've been here for like 5 minutes now, like what the hell is going on? Not realizing that it was actually a play part. I'm like, get the fuck out of
That happened to me
here.
with Uncharted 2 when the train wrecks
Mhm.
and he's hanging off the edge of the
Okay,
train.
yeah, and you're
And I'm just like,
yeah, like, oh, I gotta play now.
I was like, oh, all right, climb. Like, yeah, I like the Uncharted. To me,
Horizon Zero Dawn. That was my favorite.
I didn't play that
PlayStation
one.
4.
I didn't play that one yet.
It's a
I wanted to play the
Becky
new zombie game, but I'm so burnt out of zombies. I have no interest in it. But Uncharted to me was
I
really.
heard Days Gone not that good.
I heard it got better
I
with
heard
patches.
I heard it was not great.
I heard it got better with patches. You know, what was another good exclusive that I really liked, and I felt like PlayStation didn't give them enough funding to make it a better game than it could have been, because it had a very small team. No, I really enjoyed No Man's Sky, and then I rebought, and then I got it for.
That's on everything though now. Yeah.
And then once Xbox let them put money into it again, so they can do the stuff they wanted to do, and kind of gave them more of a team. Because Xbox kind of helped them a little bit, and now the online, like it's fun, like it's a fun game.
That hurt. That hurt.
I didn't
because me and my buddies were super excited about that.
We had an episode where what was the biggest letdowns, and that was one of mine.
Yeah, that's probably number one. One of the top ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember Homefront. That was
yeah.
Oh yeah, I played through that.
Yeah,
I played through it. I beat it the night it came out, and the last mission for Home, you're like sitting there, and it takes place somewhere around San Francisco.
Yep.
And the last mission, you're fighting, and you take over half the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's like, all right, on to the next part of the country, and we're like, yeah. And then the story's like, that's it. I'm like, wait,
didn't they make a sequel?
I think they did, but I wasn't falling for the same trick
bought it
twice.
for like $20.
Yeah,
just to get the
I think there was DLC, and then they made a sequel.
Yeah, I wasn't falling for the same trick twice. It's
like I have it for 360.
Yeah,
it didn't really. It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that reminds me. I bought that, and I bought another. What's his name? Voice. It's like the Punisher, but it's not. I guess they couldn't get the rights, so let's make a Punisher game as close as we can.
That Punisher game for the old PlayStation 2.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah,
that was so gory.
You beat this game in like 4 hours, and it has who's the guy that was Whiplash Iron Man 2? Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke does the voice for it, and it's way over the top. He just curses like crazy.
Oh, is that?
It's a first-person shooter. It's bad.
Rogue Warrior.
Yes,
that's actually based on a real guy.
Really?
Yeah. So he was a Marine, and what they did is they actually took his stories of his like infiltration missions and stuff, and they made a video game out of it. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's from Sunbury.
Really?
The real dude who that game's about is I think he's a Pennsylvania dude.
Wow.
But he was a real life like Marine, Navy SEAL, Spec Ops type. I don't know the terms, but yeah, that was based on a
very easy achievements. That's why I did it, but it wasn't a great game.
Yeah, but the reason I like Unlocked.
But he's always like fuck this. It's like, oh god.
I was a big IGN fan, and then I kind of got away from them because I feel IGN. I bought into the whole IGN gets paid to give good reviews because there's some games that they give amazing reviews to, and it tends to be the exclusives for PlayStation get like 11 out of 10s, and then I play them. I'm like, it was good, but Jesus Christ, that was overflated. And then an Xbox game comes out, and before it even we played 13 seconds of this game, and it's a 3, and then I played. I'm like, I enjoyed it. I thought that was so. I like from IGN Ryan McCaffrey because he's an Xbox guy. He will tell you he's an Xbox guy, but he also has a PlayStation, and he's very middle of the road.
I like when they're fair.
He will say Xbox, you're fucking up, and he will also say PlayStation is doing good here, but they're not doing good here. And that's why I really liked what's his name when they used to do PS I Love You, because and then he Greg whatever, but then he made Kind of Funny. He left IGN and made his own podcast, but he was a PlayStation guy, and he was very in the middle as well.
Yeah, I don't want to hear.
There's two good if you want video game ones. I don't know. I don't think they do the PlayStation exclusive one anymore, but it used to be called PS I Love You.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good one. But I like Unlocked.
Oh, okay.
Like he said, what he says a lot too is like, yes, Xbox before what's the name stepped in the office, they made a lot of mistakes, and they got shut down for a lot of the things they said they wanted to do with the gaming industry. Mm-hmm. But if you rewind what they said about always being online and having a home console and Bolt Systems at right now in current day times are doing exactly what Xbox said they wanted to do.
I never had a problem with the always online thing.
Yeah, and their public persona was destroyed for 10 years, but both systems are there right now, and no one cares about it. But
except for that game thing. Remember, 10 of your friends can use it, then 5 more.
They got rid of that.
Yeah, that was nonsense.
And I think that was a thing.
That guy was an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I'm glad he got fired.
But then since the new guy took over, they've done leaps and bounds of everything that they say, but the fanboys obviously get in the middle. They say
they had really bad public image there when Xbox One came out.
And then now they're doing like the Game Pass, which is awesome. Right now they're doing the thing, like they're doing just a lot of really good things for the company. They just went and bought like 10 more developers, so they have more exclusive developers to make games for the next 10 years than any other system. You just gotta wait for them to come.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like they're brand new. They
Yeah,
gotta do it. But and then they have Game Pass where, as long as you own the Game Pass and an exclusive comes out, you get that exclusive day one for free. Like, because imagine it
How much is Game Pass?
Game Pass is $10 a month, but now
Really?
they have a thing. It's coming soon where you can bundle your Game Pass and Xbox Live to one deal.
Okay.
So it'd be like, Xbox Live is $60 for the year.
Mhm.
If you paid like $80 or $100 for the year, you get
both?
Game Pass and
Wow.
Gold. And not only now you're going to get over 200 games a month, which they always add new ones every month.
Okay. Yeah,
like maybe sometimes like every like quarter, like they break the month down to quarters,
yeah.
and like 4 new games.
PlayStation has PlayStation Now,
but they stream. It's a streaming service.
Yeah. It's like Netflix for video games.
But this one you physically download it to your system.
Oh, really?
So it plays. There's no
wow.
latency.
Oh, that's cool.
And then they say, okay, Crackdown, State of Decay, Forza, and the new Halo comes out.
Yeah.
As soon as they're released, you're a Game Pass member,
Mhm.
download them and play them. They're yours.
Wow.
Which is like, could you imagine if that was on every system like that? Like, I can download PlayStation Now right now and go back and play all the Uncharted's, because I know they're going to be on there. And every Xbox exclusive from Xbox, original Xbox till now, is all on there. Like Fable, all of them.
That'd be awesome.
And Fable's coming soon. That's the rumor.
Yeah, I heard. I know.
Yeah, but
who's going to be developing
three
it,
wasn't
though?
so hot.
No. Well,
Oh, I love them all. I'm a huge Halo fan.
I liked 1, 2 was pretty good, but 3 was the one where you're gonna get the king.
What do you think of that one?
it was interesting.
I didn't really care for 3, and then they did redone 1 or whatever.
They
redid one.
They
Which was
went
good.
Fable
Good.
Legends, which
Yeah.
they remastered all 3 of them.
I have them all except I think for 1. I did not like that phone game thing or the game like the poker
Then
chip
they
game.
Fable Legends.
Yeah.
Fable Legends.
So, but yeah, I thought 1 was really good.
So it's gonna
I
be
like
made
2.
by the people who made 1 and 2.
Not Peter Molyneux or whatever.
No, Peter Molyneux is out of Lionhead. Thank God.
Yeah, and it's not
Thank you.
Lionhead. Pretty much the people who made Fable 1 and 2 made their own company,
Okay.
and then that company is now an Xbox exclusive company.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're like, "Oh, Halo's coming," but they're like, "Well, it's not Lionhead." And they're like, "We know it's not Lionhead, but it's pretty much the Lionhead team with a different name."
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. She stepped on you.
Thank you, sir.
Not by, well, he got snagged.
All right, but
I play a new Fable.
Yeah, definitely.
we are way behind time. Let's get some snacks in.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of cool rant there. I liked it though. All right, so what do we got first, Ben?
Let's start with these things here since Ben gave us. There's soda
Okay,
candies.
so there's 2 soda candies. One is a Ramoon flavored, which is the blue, and then your standard cola.
What is Ramoon?
Ramoon is the Japanese soda. You know the
That's
things that we had that we punched the
Ramoon flavor is like a Sprite,
Okay.
Yeah.
but a little less.
And it has
money-minded.
that, and it has like that little like glass ball into
They're
it.
probably
too.
they're probably pretty good. These are gonna be like a consistency of.
Well, should we
Laffy
eat?
Taffy?
Are these are they chewy?
They're gummy.
Okay, as I say, if they're a
Like
hard
gummy
candy,
chewy. No, they're soft. They're soft
yeah,
gummies.
it's like Starburst.
it looks like a piece of like spearmint gum.
Looks like toothpaste.
Ooh,
It does.
wow.
It does taste just like the soda.
That's
So
pretty good.
Andy gets a thing
Tokyo
called
Treat?
Tokyo Treat, and
I just got an email before saying it's packed. It's being packed and sent.
so it's all treats from Japan. Now, if they say we're going to make a bull testicle flavored spicy gumball, if they tell you they're making a flavor profile, they smash it every time. Like if they're making something that's going to taste like something,
Yeah, seaweed. It tastes
like seaweed, it's going to taste exactly like this. Like Japanese is amazing for that.
So they just have little like gummy things and like it's like gummy, but I'm saying like liquidy. Like remember the old 7-Up gum, the splashers, but it had like.
This is really good.
Yeah.
This is very
Did
good.
you eat the ramen one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Ramoon, I should say.
I'll tell you what. I was in China for 10 days in March 20th and March 30th. And
Doing
there's a
what?
bunch of candy shops.
Vacation?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. But candy shops over there, one of the things that you see in every candy shop over there is chicken feet.
Really?
Chicken feet.
Wow.
Like gummy or just like
No, it's like real chicken feet.
Legitimate chicken.
Did you eat any?
Wow.
Hell no. I did bring some back because my mom's husband likes to try weird shit.
Mhm.
So I watched him try and he goes, yeah, this is fucking nasty. I'm just like, all right, good. It's better than you than me then.
When I worked at my old job, they had sent people to China because they were building a new factory there. The Sprite one's better than the cola.
Yeah, I think
Yo, that Sprite one has got me, man.
Yeah.
That is so
the
good.
cola one tastes like gummy soda bottles.
Mm.
I like it.
I mean, it tastes like cola.
Yeah, it does.
I like both
Yeah,
equally.
the ramen one's better.
But yeah, they went to China, and this lady walked into a pet store, and she found a Pomeranian, and the Pomeranian in American money would have been like $150, and she's like, "Oh my god, I've always wanted a Pomeranian." So she's like, "I'm gonna buy this dog. I just need to find out with my airline and everything I'm in. It's a smaller dog. I may be able to carry it."
Yeah.
So she went back to she bought the dog because she said, "I was determined to find out how this dog was coming home with me."
Yeah.
Goes back to her hotel. She does all the research, calls the airline. Everything's good. She goes back to pick up the dog the next day, and they hand her
A food dish.
an envelope.
Oh.
She bought the dog's meat.
Oh God.
It was not a pet store. It was a market.
Yeah. Well, that's normal. Then,
Fuck that lady up.
Yeah.
That lady was.
Yeah.
She's like,
How long ago was that?
So I've been out of that job now 10 years, so over 10.
Wow.
Gummy and salt.
Because when I was there, obviously we had to ask about it because we had like a tour guide who
Mhm.
spoke, as she called it, Chinglish.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Yo, so we hear you eat dogs over here." She's like, "Oh, well, we used to, like, not so much anymore. Like the real rural areas do, but before, because they're a growing agricultural country, they were like, we had like domesticated sort of dogs, but like we didn't have a lot of other animals to eat meat off of. So why are we going to sit here and eat plants when there's a perfectly good dog right there?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I guess that makes sense."
Yeah.
But now they don't anymore.
Because they like tourists are like, "What the hell's wrong
Yeah.
with you?" Yeah.
Cats and stuff. Like, come on now.
So let's go with these next.
Okay.
That's
so
curry.
this is
I
curry.
picked the wrong one.
So-
Might be a little spicy.
So
So it does.
my coworker went to Chinatown for last week, and he's like, "Oh, hey Ben, I got these 2 things for you," and I figured, why not?
So I got to
try 'em
get
out?
used to hot stuff because I have to pregame for the hot.
Now, keep in
sauce
mind,
episode.
Tony, just because it's curry does not mean it's going to be always hot spicy.
Got it.
Barbecue sauce is hot for me.
So that's Aji right there.
I am a baby.
Really? Oh my
You
God.
are
Middlesworth.
incredibly
Is
wise.
Middlesworth chips too hot for you?
Sometimes.
Wow.
I had a Chipotle. I ordered 6 Chipotle wings from OIP today,
Mhm.
and my
Like
nose had
Ryan?
boogers coming out that
Oh,
I didn't
God.
know were in there.
You're gonna die in that episode.
And we're doing an episode with the guy from Hotheads. He makes a hot sauce.
Your eyebrows are gonna be like
I'll join in along
like
with
that
your
guy.
beer, bro.
like
Drink the hot sauce.
detonators, like the bomb, like the fuses.
I just say I ate refried beans. I put a bunch of hot sauce. Like that's not enough.
Yeah.
So-
We might have an extra spot. You can come along.
Does it smell curry? Let me smell it. You know who has good curry? China too in Port Carbon. That's not too strong. It smells
If you don't,
honeyish.
if you want to try it, you can, but you don't have to. You're not.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely try it.
I'm gonna say that's fantastic. Or it's plain.
I tried some questionable things when I was over in China.
Really?
So yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you ate?
It's
If
like a
I told you I
corn
don't know, like, would you believe me? I had no idea. It was
Really?
just like we went to
You
this
just
one.
saw it and you were
There
just
you
like,
go.
I saw it.
Yeah,
I
we
wasn't
went to
sure.
this-
I
we went
didn't
to this one
explore.
place. It was called
It was like a
Wang.
what
It
if.
was called Wang Fujing Snack Street, and on this street they had scorpions on sticks,
It reminds me
real
of, like-
scorpions. But they were they weren't dead yet. They were alive. And then when you ordered the scorpion, they picked up the skewer and put it on there, and then they cooked them right in front of you. And then they just here's
Now,
your scorpion.
isn't there
There
like
can't be much meat in a scorpion.
No, it sounded like a potato chip.
Wow.
I didn't eat it, but
now is
There's
there
some-
any chance of venom at that point, or does it when it gets so hot? Does
They might have like non-poisonous
I don't
ones.
know. That's a good question.
because I ate a scorpion. It was a scorpion inside of a hard candy.
Oh, the live. Yeah.
So I went to see the Dolly exhibit in Philadelphia, and they
It's not bad.
and yeah, it's not terrible.
It's a very light curry taste.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's there, but
And-
it tastes a little bit
It
like
reminds me
honey.
of like a seasoned, like a real good seasoned pretzel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're good, but I would like them if they were stronger.
I like them.
I like when curry's like
I'm cool with 2, but they're not horrible. I wouldn't eat like it. Honestly, it tastes like if you took the ramen, like a ramen soup,
Mhm.
broth,
Oh, yeah.
and you
packet.
and you made season with on a chip
Mm.
with it, like a cheese curl.
shabishi, and that's kanji. I don't know.
And these are supposed to be like buttered potato.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, yeah, like like the
Um,
Irish buttered potatoes, just
Yeah,
little
like a
potato
loaded
balls.
potato.
No, like you ever have the Irish like where it's like a potato with like basil and stuff on it?
Yeah.
And it's like little mashed potatoes around it too, like that.
Okay.
Ooh.
I forget where I was now. Something
Like a little cheese.
I forget.
I seen cotton candy cheese balls, not cotton candy cheese, but cotton candy
No.
flavored
Good?
consistency of cheese
Yo.
balls.
I'm gonna grab 2.
Exactly. Yo.
I'm gonna grab 2.
is
That's like my new thing, yo.
You can't just have one ball. You gotta have 2.
yeah. I seen protein balls like they sell GNC now. It's like protein cheese balls. So when you're done working out, you just eat some cheese balls.
Oh yeah, I saw
I
that.
was like,
That's
oh my
right.
god.
All right, that's interesting. I don't hate it.
There's a little bit of soy sauce in here.
Let me try
Wow.
a few more.
The aftertaste is good.
I like it.
I don't know how I feel, but I definitely
It's
don't
butter
dislike
and
it.
soy sauce.
It tastes good. Like it's a good.
It's good. A lot of the Japanese stuff has that kind of flavor. Like they love the soy sauce
Interesting.
and wasabi and stuff like that.
And this is like the perfect like size then too. So like you don't want to eat too much, but you don't.
I find that all their
Now
stuff
these
is,
are these Chinatown in New York or Chinatown in?
I think in Philly.
but it's all Japanese stacks. There's
Mhm.
Japanese writing.
Mm-hmm. But man,
They don't think we know the difference.
They're like, oh, white guys, it's
Oh.
it's not English. We can sell them anything. All right, Andy, you want to bust out a Pop Tart?
Oh yeah, dude.
Let's just get two of them out because they come with two. So you don't have
so we get a
if you
pack
want a
each.
full one, you can have a full one.
Or
So,
which one?
the red, white, and blueberry.
You know what I'm saying? Each
I
pack
think
has
they're-
two Pop Tarts.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they're going to be just blueberry. So
Yeah.
I mean, don't expect.
So we'll
anything
just open
crazy.
one and we'll
Well,
split.
You know
we'll
what?
each
We're gonna
split.
do it though for
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, for
These are for
but they
America.
look cool. So
All
you
right.
guys want to take one and split?
Oh, what the get? This is
All
a
right,
good
so I'll just do
gimmick.
this.
Okay. Yep. See.
Oh.
Okay. Split. Yep.
Oh,
you
Andy,
got it.
we're
You got
not
it.
on a
That's all
date.
right, I'm cool with it.
They're on the date. We're not on
Yeah.
the date, Andy.
You
Good
want
job.
the bigger piece? I'll take. It looks cool, doesn't it? It'd be cool. If it was blueberry inside, and this was strawberry flavored.
I'm already thinking.
These are really good,
I wish the red was strawberry flavored.
No,
but good nonetheless.
yeah, it's a blueberry pop tart. But it's fun. It's a fun blueberry pop tart. That's why I bought it. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Like, if it was like,
I would buy more
Is
of
it
those.
me or does these blueberry pop tarts taste a little bit better? Just a little bit.
No,
just
I
enough
haven't
to
had-
put
I
it
haven't had
over
one
in a
the
while.
I'm
regular.
not huge about
espresso.
blueberry, but I'll tell you what. These taste like freedom.
I like them.
We had a really good blueberry beer the other day.
Oh, I seen Giant had a red, white, and blueberry beer.
Right.
Yeah, I forget. It might have been a girly, fruity.
A
drink.
blueberry beer won Brewfest this year.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
It was unbelievable. It would have been my vote because it was that good.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't vote for it is because the stand like two stands down, Wolf made a key lime pie sour beer. I hate sour beers
Yeah.
and I hate key lime pie. And I drank the beer and it was absolutely delicious.
Really?
And I was like, I have to vote for it
I
because
like key lime pie.
it gave me everything that I shouldn't like.
Yeah.
And I
And
enjoyed
And
it.
you
like it.
and you got kind of sort of converted.
Yeah.
I think the best beer that I've ever had was when I was on out in Denver, and it was a Fort Collins Major Tom's pomegranate ale.
Mm.
Oh, I still have dreams about
I
it.
wish
I like
I
pomegranate.
wish you would have messaged us 2 weeks before you did, because we would have 100% had you on our Marvel beer episode.
Mm.
So we did the Infinity Hops.
It's gonna
There
be
was
blueberry with
6
this stuff.
beers that were all themed. 6 beers that were themed
Yeah.
after the Stones, and then 1 Gauntlet beer. And some of the beers that were in that line, all the beers in that lineup were absolutely breathtaking.
Stellar.
They were unbelievable. There was, I don't know, you like grapefruit?
Yes.
So this one beer literally tasted like you unscrewed, like if you bought a can of grapefruit, like a grapefruit with all the grapefruit in with this
Yeah.
juice, opened it and drank the grapefruit juice.
Sometimes
It had-
grapefruit
Holy
juice by
cow.
itself can be real strong.
It had 0 booze taste to it,
Wow.
and it was like a 9.2 beer. It was
And we always say that it's grapefruit, but it was really blood orange.
it was blood orange, but it
Well,
tasted.
so
they're
phenomenal.
similar.
Phenomenal,
They're similar.
man.
So what do you have for show off today? Show and
Oh,
tell.
so I went to East Coast Comic Con. The whole point I went was to meet George Perez, and I didn't because they cut the line off. I got back in line, and they cut off again because they had a stupid panel. So, like, when you go to meet somebody real quick, you get a couple things signed. They said limit of 12, which is insane. 12 things. Like, usually it's like, oh, limit of like 2, 3, 5, 12.
So that's what people brought
And,
up.
and he was taking pictures and stuff. And, like, a lot of fans were like, hey, I got, because he did Infinity Gauntlet. He did Price of Infinity Earth.
So you didn't get your
I didn't get anything signed.
that sucks.
That's super unfortunate.
And he was taking pictures and meeting everyone real nice. But what they did is like you come up and then there's a girl here. They always have a handler, and she's trying to hawk prints to everybody. So she's holding up the line too by trying to sell prints. Usually you meet the guy and then there's the prints. So you meet him, get your stuff shined, then
Yeah.
you can look all you want because it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But she was holding people up, and
That Nazi.
a lot of people what they do is like a place from a comic book shop will come and they have 12 Infinity Gauntlets. Well, you're not a fan. What would you do with 12 Infinity Gauntlets?
So we could resell these and make money.
Like the one guy, he went up to George Perez and he handed him 6 Thanos figures. What, there's one for each room of your house? And I was like, come on. It's like, it sucks that he got it and he's going to flip them. And then I'm a fan that when books just signed to keep, and I couldn't get to it.
Yeah,
I was like, this.
I hate
this
stuff
sucks.
like
It wasn't George Perez's fault.
They're
It
the type
sucks.
of people that even if I ever got like famous for this stupid fucking podcast, and they're like, hey, people enjoy you enough that they want to pay for your autograph. If someone came up and said, I want you to sign 12 things and it's all the same photo, and I got the idea that they're going to try to flip it, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to sign 2 and I'm going to actually get to fans because you're looking.
Or I'm going to charge you more, which some comic book people do, and I don't blame them all.
Yeah, because like I would, if I'm there to sit and sign 1,000 autographs, I want to meet 1,000 people who legit are my fans,
and
not
going to sell it.
1,000 like the people who sit outside of the hotel room and wait for an athlete or a wrestler to come out to get them to sign their stuff so they can turn around and sell it.
Yeah,
like I'm not an autograph person for that reason. But I have, like I said, Heidi got me the Shawn Michaels pop. I would never sell that pop, like, because and his signature, it didn't mean much to me. I would have rather to meet him personally myself.
Yeah.
But I have an autographed Shawn Michaels pop figure.
Yeah.
But it's not. That wasn't there to sell and read. Like,
I want to sell this and flip it for it. Yeah, that's what them guys. And it's like
it's ugly.
No, like, that sucks. And a bunch of fans. Like this one guy had this awesome Justice League vs Avengers hardcover they wanted to get signed. He wasn't gonna sell. He's gonna keep it. And he's like, where did you even get that?
Yeah.
And talking to him, and then Keeney get it. So they cut it
off.
Well,
he made an appearance in the movie, right?
Who? George Perez?
Yeah. Wasn't he in the?
He might be in it somewhere.
I thought he was. They said the guy who created Thanos was in the movie. He was in the.
No, Jim. It was Jim Starlin.
Jim Starlin.
Jim Starlin was there too.
Starlin.
And I was almost. By the time I was done, George Perez line, they both had a panel together. So
because one of them was in the AA meeting scene when they all went to AA to talk about.
It had to be Jim Starlin, but George Perez, I think drew them up, so they're both. Yeah. I think they're both credited. But anyway, I did meet Denny O'Neil, who wrote Batman for a few years back in the 60s and 70s. He's old.
Oh, wow.
Like, he had to be in his 80s, we figured.
Yeah, but the first celebrity I met at a con was Adam West. And I was
Val Kilmer was there, but I'm like,
I was very disappointed.
Really? I heard he was a dick.
He's not very personable.
Yeah, which you should be personable.
Yeah, and it wasn't even, and you could say, well, he was old. I'm not buying that because I snuck.
No, Denny O'Neil was in his 80s and he was super nice.
Yeah,
and he's like, he signs one thing with Black Canary. He's like, I fell in love with Black Canary, and he's like, and I was upset because she wasn't real. I'm like, that's cool.
Burt Ward and Julie Newmar were directly next to Adam West, and they weren't even supposed to be doing some of the stuff they were doing, but they were just having fun being there.
Yeah.
And I snuck in line with my friend to get his Adam West autograph because I just wanted to say I was within arm's reach of Adam West, and I wanted to hear his voice. Yeah. Like I wanted to in person hear, I mean, and he literally stared at the table. He would literally just look straight down. His handler would take your autograph. Yeah. He'd put it in front of him and say, Andy, and he went to Andy from Adam West, and he would hand it back.
He didn't even look at you.
And then he would go right to the next one. And then he went, thank you so much, Mr. West. And he just went.
Yeah, like, that sucks. That's not worth it.
Yep. Wow. And it was like $100 for that autograph.
Yeah, I know. Some people pay like $300, $400 for people, and they're in the room.
And then, in that same time, we kind of talked about it. China was there.
Okay.
And this was weeks before she died. Weeks. Nobody at her table. 0 people. Like I walked straight up to her table. Like I actually walked past her table because there was no line there, so I had to walk in front of her table to get to somebody else. And I was just like, oh, and I was like, thank you so much for everything you've done. Like you were a huge part of my childhood. I'm a huge DX fan. Yeah. And she went to say something, and her hand was like, "Are you paying for this?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you paying to talk to her? Because you're not, keep it moving." And I went, "Have a good day." And I walked away.
Yeah, that's an asshole hand. I was trying to like, no.
Yep. And then we walked.
Maybe the more you talk, maybe you would have bought something. 100%. I want to buy a picture.
Yep. And then I walked up to another table with nobody in it, and it was Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
And we literally just walked up, and he was doing his fantasy baseball, and he goes, "Excuse me 1 second, can I just?" And I'm like, "No, go ahead, fantasy baseball. It's important." And he did it, and he's like, "Hey man, how you guys doing?" And he's like, "Karate Kid fans." I was like, "No, beer league." He goes, "You're a Howard Stern fan." And we talked for like 45 minutes, and then he's like, "You guys want a photo and a picture?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, and I'm like, "She's the one who wants the autograph, or I'm just coming over for the conversation." He goes, "All right, $20 and we'll take a picture together." And that was it. And then we went up to Tom Savini. Once again, nobody at his line, which was crazy to me because we were in Monroeville where Dawn of the Dead was shot.
Okay.
And nobody was at his table. And I was like, I'm paying for his autograph. Yeah. And I got a Dawn of the Dead poster autograph by him. I got the cop gun from Desperado, like Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
It was awesome. But like, when they just will talk to you and they're not trying to get $45 out of you, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, they don't know, like, if you're a good salesman, someone will buy something.
Yeah.
But you gotta be nice. You can't just be like,
yeah.
I hate that.
And if I'm not buying your headshot, like if you have like if
Yeah, I want a movie shot or something.
like if you're
that.
Ralph Macchio, I don't want your Ralph Macchio headshot.
Yeah.
Like if you had a replica poster of the Karate Kid,
Yeah,
I'll buy that all day long.
An action shot of the
Yeah,
movie.
I'll buy that all day
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
But
But,
anyway, so I met Fernando Ruiz, who was an Archie artist for a long time, and him and Dan Parent, who do a book called Die Kitty Die, that I like, is real good. That's how I know him. So they're doing an Elvira special. So this is our 2 original art pages, which usually go for a lot of money. It was only selling for $50. So I'm like, oh my god.
Now
Yeah. So this is how they make a comic. They get
after
these
you
big
said
things,
that,
right?
the Archie.
Yeah.
It's very. You could definitely tell it's very Archie.
And he actually
inspired.
teaches class at the Kubrick School in New Jersey. Teaches art class. So then I got that one, and then they did Archie for like years and years. So that's why.
So this is a comic coming out.
It actually came out today. It's called the Elvira Spring Special. It was supposed to be a Halloween special, but it got pushed back. I haven't said to him. It's like, it's finally coming out. It's like, yeah, this week.
I have such a crush on Elvira.
Yeah, but you can even tell, like, if you look real close, like his like inking and stuff, so you can tell like it's like his legit art. And a lot of people, when they get famous, they sell those for thousands of dollars. So I was like, I went to him. I was like,
it's such a simple art too. It's like,
but it's really crisp and good. And I was like,
it's beautiful.
How much, man? He's like $50. I'm like, what? And I was like, I'm
You
gonna buy
want
one
that
each?
$50 bill.
$50 each. So I said, I'm gonna buy one, and if I don't spend money, I'm gonna come back and buy another.
And
one.
he signed it.
Yeah, and he's a really nice guy
It's a
too.
knockout.
And then I bought
I would buy this comic.
he did a Betty Page comic too that I bought. It was actually pretty good. So that Elvira book is coming out. I'm gonna have him sign that in New York because he's at New York Comic Con. And Dan Parent, his like partner in doing all the art, he lives in the Pocono somewhere.
And Elvira still looks like she's like 20 years old.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah. And she's kicking that zombie's ass, gets a heel right to the jaw. But that I'm gonna frame those because I always wanted like an actual legit piece of comic book art. Like that's how it starts. So he like a lot of people just do pencils, but he does pencils and ink.
How about that guy? I think it was on Comic Book Men where he had his grandfather gave it to him, like pass it down. His grandfather went up to Bob Kane in a restaurant and he drew a sketch of Batman on the back of a menu and said keep it, and the guy had it, and they had to like do all the authenticity on it. Yeah. And then I was a huge like, oh my god, I love Bob Kane. And then I watched that documentary.
Screwed up with Bill Finger.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking Bill Finger.
Yeah.
And then
I named Bill Finger.
Yeah, and then I started doing more research on Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and I was like, man, Stan Lee kind of Bob Kane, Bill Finger, Kirby a little bit.
But like most of the ideas were
they patched it up towards the end.
Stan Lee, yeah,
they patched. But there was a while there where Stan Lee was
Jack
kind
Kirby
of
went to DC for a while.
Yeah, and Stan Lee was kind of a dick. Like that's all me. And Jack Kirby was like,
70s,
no, it wasn't.
So yeah, because they like did Silver Surfer.
Jack Kirby got a shout out in Endgame. They said created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Did they?
Yeah,
I forget.
Both names were there.
Wow.
I was like, good.
Well, yeah.
Like Batman vs Superman, they said Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
But even let's say it was just Avengers, even if like one created one character, one the other, they're both there. So
yeah, 100%. Like, and that's the thing that it really should go down as is like how everyone's like Stan Lee. Like you can't have one without the other.
Right.
That's just my take on it.
Stan Lee didn't draw; he just wrote.
Yeah,
a lot of people think
he wrote the stories, and then
Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby
art.
tried to write them.
Yeah,
but his art was really good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so when they gave him a shout out, I was like, good.
Yeah, they should. A lot of times they have like the creators in the credits. Like what was it? It was some movie that had everyone that wrote like issues for the character. Like, that's pretty cool. They have.
Did you ever see that Bob Kane documentary?
I forget what it's called.
It was on Netflix. It was like the true story of Batman or the man behind Batman or something like that. And
the
it
man
goes
behind the bat, or
man behind, and it literally goes into the whole thing where Bob Kane pretty much freelanced this dude to draw him a character, and he created like the first 30 issues of Batman, and he was the artist and penciler and the creator of like the first so many issues of Batman comics and Detective Comics, and then never gave Bill Finger a second of credit for it. And then Bill Finger,
because back then you could just pay someone for art, and like it was once and done.
So then Bob Kane took all these Batman drawings and comic books and sold them to DC as the creator. And then this guy started going to Comic-Con saying, my name is Bill Finger and I'm actually the guy who created Batman. And people dismissed him for, and he, like, Bill Finger created Batman and died a broke, lonely man.
Yeah, he was on welfare.
Yeah, he was on welfare. Like, now, and at the time, Batman is making billions. Like
he died what, early 2000s, maybe 90s. Yeah,
and he literally went down like he lived his entire life as not getting credit for what he created, and all this like there's the whole legal battle going to it. Like, should he get some of the rights? Because once Bob Kane's family, once Bob Kane then passed away, like I think he said, and like they went back and did all this research, and Bob Kane started to give him a little bit of credit, and he would give him credit in the comic books, but like towards the end, but not like in the main things. And then Bill Finger was with him up until like even the TV show was being created. So like Bob kept him around to keep feeding him Batman stuff and just keep taking the credit for it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So it's
That's
not like
absurd.
Yeah, it's not like he just did like 3 issues. Like he was with it from like the comics into the Adam West TV show and he didn't get a cent for it. Like he created like the greatest character, one of the greatest characters of all time, and got not and he died no credit with it.
Yeah, I think DC took care of his family then.
Yeah,
after his all.
And then the whole documentary came out, and they made the Batman vs Superman movie, and that's the first time ever that Bob Finger was like Batman created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. Yeah, which was like
I think that's something.
Yeah,
but back then, I mean, there was no signed contracts. There was nothing like that.
That's insane.
That actually is insane. That's very insane.
Yeah, that's like I watched it and I was like, oh my, like my whole perception.
But like all the characters Stan Lee created, they're not his. They're property of Marvel because when he signed with Marvel or whatever.
Yeah,
but whatever he created.
Yeah, but Marvel will always say like made by Stan
which
Lee.
they did. But I mean, again, that's something like because he was on Hearthstone at the time. He's like, so you don't own it? He's like, no, I don't own anything I created.
Yep.
He's like, oh my god.
Like they paid for the paper and pen that I put it down on.
Yeah.
Like they paid for my time, but I mean he gets creative control.
Yeah, but they took care of him.
But but I mean,
but
to be like
more of like a PR type of guy.
Yeah,
like he was the one that was like a
years.
marketer. You know what I mean?
But that's like, hey Andy, draw me a really cool picture, and then I put on the internet like I drew this.
Yeah,
and like keep feeding me.
Yeah,
and I'm never gonna give you
like
credit.
I had this idea for like a girl who uses like a whip or something. Like, oh, okay, I draw it, and then you give her the name. Like, I drew it. But, So yeah,
it's such a scumbag move.
That is a serious scumbag.
So like ever since
I think
then,
there was a
like,
lot of that back then.
Yeah. So Bob Kane to me, he lost a lot of lackluster.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like, "You want a Bob Kane autograph?" I'm like, "No, no, I don't. I don't."
They were priced.
Bill Finger? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Bill Finger?
Yeah. Who the fuck's Bill Finger?
Who's Bill Finger?
Yeah. All right. So our topic. Anything else you guys got to show off? You didn't bring nothing. You just brought snacks?
I kind of blew the wad with the snacks. So
did you play any games lately?
I haven't really played much.
I really haven't been doing that.
I haven't turned my Xbox on all week with Fest and stuff. I've been so busy.
I've only watched my other stuff. No Goblin Slayer, guys.
Are you playing any games right now?
Yeah, one of the ones I can never quit is League of Legends.
I've never played it.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I'm not a PC guy.
You would be that guy.
I am that guy.
I'm sorry.
I hate it.
I'm sorry.
I hate myself sometimes. For it too.
Now, are you a console guy or are you a PC guy?
Mostly PC. I transitioned. You know, I was, like I said, a console guy. I was an Xbox guy. I used to play all the Xboxes. I have all the current consoles. I have a Switch. I have a PS4. I have an Xbox One. I actually have 2 Xbox Ones. Because I'm a huge Halo fan, like I said before. So when they brought out Halo 5 and they put out the special edition Xbox One, I had to buy that when it came out. So like the last 3 times that a Halo game has come out, I spent around $700.
Actually, I have been playing. So I kind of hooked up with some guys I used to work with at American Eagle, like really, really good dudes. They actually invited me to a party in the middle of the night, and I was like, all right, I'm awake, I'll play. And we played the Master Chief Collection, and we played Halo 3 online multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
And had a blast. I'm still terrible at it.
I was never good at it.
They are bringing that to PC soon.
Yep, and they're adding Reach.
My heart. I love Reach so much.
Yeah.
The online was the best.
And the cool thing is with Xbox now is if you buy a game for Xbox and you get Xbox Live for free because you're on a PC, which is I don't understand how that's a fucking thing.
Yeah.
But you get so if you were to turn your console on and buy Forza, you can also play that on your PC, which I think is a cool deal.
Yeah,
I made the mistake once though because I tried to do that with Gears of War 4.
Yeah.
But the real thing is you have to buy it digitally because I bought the collector's edition hard copy and went home and I tried to put it in my. I'm like, I guess I have to put it in my computer to install it. It'll work. So I ended up having to buy Gears of War 4 twice. I was like,
or you can buy Game Pass and it's on there.
That's very true. I didn't think about it at the time.
I'm a big, like I said, I love the digital. When GameStop screwed over my people that work there, I was like, well, I'm not buying any more games from GameStop, and I went digital. And this was Xbox 360.
Oh wow!
So the cool thing for me is I went digital in the 360 era, and then when games would go on sale on Xbox 360, you didn't have the memory space as you do now. So I would just buy them and not install them, and then they would be in my game library.
Yeah.
which the cool part about that is I have lost some games that Xbox no longer has the rights for. Like I lost my Simpsons arcade, I lost my Turtles of Time because they don't have the rights.
Yeah.
But I think they credited me back money. But it got to the point where now every time I turn my Xbox on, they're like, "Hey, you have 4 more games that are now backwards compatible that you
That's
paid
cool.
for before, and here are your games again."
That's like the only thing that are on my Xbox One. Cause
Yeah, my game library on Xbox like 450 some games because
cow.
I've been going digital so long, and all my Xbox 360 games just keep getting flooded.
I would get
over.
only downloadable games. That's the only thing I download is the ones that are only downloadable.
Yeah.
I had a ton, and they started coming over when I turned my Xbox One on. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yep. And then the cool, like I like the deals that Xbox does, like Games for Gold. Is this a really good? Like you'll go on there and they'll be like, "Hey, you may not be into this game, but it's $16," and I'll be like, and all the DLC.
Well, don't they still give two free a month?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
PlayStation does that.
Well, you get
2 big ones, and then there's some
you get 4 free games now on
like
Xbox.
shitty one, like indie ones.
So you get 4 free games on Xbox now.
Okay.
They do an Xbox and a backwards compatible game. And then halfway through the month, they give you another Xbox game and a backwards compatible game.
Oh.
So you're getting 4 games every month.
So PlayStation gives you 2 big ones, but usually the ones that download only.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like a PSP one, and like an indie one.
Yeah,
It's
like a
usually
Vita
shitty.
game that you can play on the PlayStation as well, like an arcade
Yeah.
classic,
Yeah.
like Guacamelee.
That's,
or something.
yeah, and a lot of times they're shitty all around.
Mhm.
I've been playing Remember Me. You ever play that game?
I wanted to.
Is that the
How
side
is it?
scroller?
So no. So it came out at the end. I think PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were already out. So the graphics are awesome. I was like, holy shit, these graphics are good.
Mhm.
And it's all about like, it's a futuristic thing where they can steal people's memories and erase minds and stuff. And memories like is a currency. It's like a drug. Like you take memories.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Wasn't she like an assassin?
Yeah,
And they
she
took her memory.
they wiped her memory, so you wake up and you're in the plant, and they like they're sucking out memories, and then she still remembers her name. Like, oh, we gotta send this one here to get totally wiped, and then you know save the plant and everything. But it's cool because the combat, it's combos, and it's like Batman, like the Arkham Asylum, but you get different moves and you can build your own combos, and they do different things. Like one heals you, and it's like, wow, that's pretty creative. And you can they're called pressings, so you make your combos like that, and then you run around. It's kind of like little Tomb Raider-ish, how you climb things and stuff like that, or Uncharted, but it's really good. Like, these graphics are awesome, and it's all combat. I'm like, this is sweet. I got for both 360 and PlayStation 3.
The only thing I'm really looking forward to is I'm probably gonna buy Borderlands 3. I'm not a huge Borderlands guy. Like if I have to play Borderlands by myself, solo single player,
not as much fun.
I'm not playing it. But if they're like, hey, I have 4 people that want to jump on, let's play
When
Borderlands.
you get different classes,
it's a blast.
Yeah,
and that's
I
kind of
played 1,
and then I'm excited about, and then Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
which is July. I think. It's close.
And we got
It's on the cover of
Do you
Games
have-
format
along.
Do you have online?
for Switch. No,
Yeah.
but it's only $20. So.
You should get it so we can play.
It's $20.
And we have to play that.
I have it for Super Smash Brothers. That's another one that I'm into right now.
Yeah. I went to play my Switch and I turned it on and I had so many updates that all of my games were corrupted and they had to re-download patches for this one update, so I couldn't play it the whole night. But I tried to play Civ 6. I love Civ.
I love Civ too.
Yeah, that's a fun game. That's a great handheld. Like the way they made that in a handheld was genius. It was done really well.
I thought about buying it for the Switch because it was like, oh man, I can play this on the go. But I was like, oh,
I actually bought it. I bought it digitally too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and I bought it digitally on. That's the only digital game I own. And I
on
bought it.
Switch.
Yeah,
I got
it digitally.
Coffee Crisis and Master Blaster Zero, which is a real good side scroller.
Actually, I bought some arcade ones. Like I have like School Academy Tycoon. It's like a tycoon game where you have to build a school.
Okay. They have tons of them.
I eat those tycoon games up, and then I bought Harvest Moon. Stardew Valley.
Okay, yeah,
Same
it's
thing.
the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
But I don't understand it, and I'm not good at it. But it's one of those games where like I'll play for like 4 days in the game and be like, oh, that's how you do that? All right, I'm gonna start over because now I know. Like it's one of those style. Like, yeah, I love it, but it's and that's another game too I had on the Xbox, and I was like, man, this is really fun. But for some reason, it just doesn't feel like a console game to me. Like, so I was like, I'm having fun with it, but it's not something I want to sit and play on a console.
I don't think I.
And then you play it on a Switch, and it's a completely different experience. Like it's like that. Another game I think that would be amazing on Switch. I don't know if it's there yet. Is Don't Starve. It was a PlayStation. It's like a PlayStation game. It's like Toe Jam and Earl.
Okay.
But it meets a survival horror with the graphics of like a Tim Burton.
I'm trying to think of it.
No, Toe Jam and Earl was my.
I want to get that for the Switch too.
Told you Monero?
Yeah, but they didn't make it for the Switch yet, did they? It's only
No,
for a
no. I
console.
ordered it. I still didn't get it yet because it's from that Too Many Games, or not Too Many Games.
Limited
games.
Run.
Yeah.
You know
They
what?
take forever though.
And you know what? I was really pissed because the collector's edition for the Bloodstained
Mhm.
looked bitchin' with the old NES.
Yeah, but it
Cardboard
wasn't
art.
a real cartridge though.
But still, though, it still looks really cool.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was a neat. And they actually are making that remaking or redoing all the graphics for that game
The
too.
blood,
Yeah.
the real Bloodstain.
Bloodstained,
Not
the one
8-bit
guy's
one.
like, no, I'm not having it because he doesn't
That
want
was
to see
at
what my
New York
what
Comic
my
Con
game-
2 years ago.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
was like, oh, this is cool.
they're gonna
awesome.
be. It's gonna be coming out this year apparently,
I
and
hope
they
so.
like redid the whole entire game. He's
I
like,
hope it's good.
"No,
I hope
cannot release.
I hope
this."
it's not the Castlevania what Mighty Number 9 was, the Mega Man.
Well, did you
Oh,
see
yeah.
the
I
revamp?
hope not.
Was that you that showed me the revamped Castlevania?
Yeah, it
So
looked fucking ridiculous.
They put the Castlevania, and I guess the fans were all bitching about it, saying it looked like dog shit. And the guy was like, "Okay," and he redid the whole game, and now it looks like insane.
What
It
was
looks-
that?
Bloodstained.
Oh,
that new
Bloodstain.
Bloodstained,
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's what
did
you're
you see?
Yeah, that's
they released Castlevania Collection one.
yeah.
It's 1, 2, 3, both Game Boy games. Bloodstained, or not Bloodlines, and one more. It's all right, but I'm like, I have all these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kid Dracula. It's the
Yeah.
first time.
So
in
since
English.
we're on the game kick, and our host today has given us our topic,
Yeah.
our most. So describe your topic a little bit. So most exciting moments are.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where you're just sitting here and you're playing something. I think what I said was what the most exciting time you've ever had playing a video game, and the
Okay.
most exciting, maybe even cutscene or just experience in a video game like that. So I guess I'll start off, and one of the things that always sticks out to me is my favorite console of all time is still Dreamcast.
Okay.
It will always
I've
be.
never owned one.
Really?
Never.
Oh,
I had to
I
find
did-
mine. I was
I
hiding
didn't get it
away.
at $9.99, but I got it shortly thereafter.
it was that was way ahead of its time.
It was.
It was very ahead of its time.
Made by Microsoft.
Was it?
Microsoft
I think it was,
helped make that. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But one of my favorite games on there was Phantasy Star Online.
Okay, I never got to play
I
it.
played that for GameCube.
That's for GameCube.
Yep.
It originally came out for the Dreamcast, then they had a version 2 that was released like a year and a half later, and then they ported, that to GameCube, and then to the original Xbox.
Mhm.
There is now a Phantasy Star Online 2 out, only in Japan, and there's a group of people who are thankfully so dedicated enough to make a English client and all English patch
Yeah.
so that we can play it, because they didn't release it over here. So I'm playing it, and it's super cool. You drop into it's just like your normal areas, like there's like a forest and this, that, and the third. And during these these missions that you take, there can be like an emergency mission. So we're going, and the emergency mission this time just happens to pop up like the main boss of the game at this point. And we're like, oh shit. And it's in like this super small area. Like the area is probably this big, and the boss is probably that big. So there's nowhere to run from this thing, and we're fighting it. And once you meet certain criteria, there can be a small chance to pop up another emergency event. And we hit this criteria apparently. And while we're still fighting the first boss, the emergency criteria was it spawned a second boss of the same type that was enraged. And then we're like, holy fuck. What the hell we did? Like, we're all level like 21, 22, brand new. The game just came out like a week ago, and we're just sitting here having to fight 2 bosses, and one is enraged. It does more damage, has more health, it's faster. I'm like, it was insane. It was just insane. And in the open world party areas in that game, you can have, I think, 16 people. So here's 16 people just smacking on 2 of these bosses for it took us like an hour to kill them both. It was just unreal.
So we played
Crazy.
Phantasy Star for the GameCube, and you're on like this moon thing, and then you fight this first boss in like a sewer. It's like
I can't think. That was caves. That was the second boss, right?
We would level up to the point where we could finally beat it, and then you beat it, and then we never got past it. Like we didn't know the next part of the game. Like we thought that was it, because you worked so hard to level your character up to beat that one. Like, so we were like, we're done.
Yeah.
And then we kept playing that over and over and over again, and didn't realize like we were only like 2 chapters into the game, because we were young at the time.
Yeah.
Like we played that game so many, and like that was the farthest we ever got. Fucking idiots, like dumb.
There was the game didn't explain much to you though. I'll tell you that because after
I
that,
turned it on is like have fun.
yeah, pretty much.
Whereas WoW will take your hand through everything.
Yeah, well, when WoW first came out, it didn't. WoW was like have fun.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but it was much more than EverQuest because EverQuest just kind of plopped you out there.
Yeah.
WoW at least explains stuff. Here's your health bar, and here's your mana bar. And
Yeah.
like, okay, at least I used to play that when I haven't played it in years and
Mhm.
years.
Like Dark Souls is the same way. Have you played any of the Souls series games?
I played a little bit. I can't say
They're
that.
just
Yeah, it's here to start.
they just throw you in, and then you see an NPC, and you're like, oh, you're gonna talk to him. He just goes. You're like, what the?
Yeah.
Can I have it? Like, tell me where to go. No. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna walk around now.
Yeah.
So
Whatever.
do you have another example
They're
of a
brutal.
moment in the game where you kind of?
Oh my god! I almost. This game has been out now, so if this spoils this for anybody, I'm sorry. But BioShock Infinite.
It's been out for years.
I've never
Yeah.
finished it, but you go ahead.
Have
You go ahead.
you played the first two
I played the first two.
and you beat them?
Yes.
I beat the
Okay.
first two. Yeah,
Did you play the
I
third
didn't,
one?
I didn't like it Infinite too much,
See,
so I got halfway.
here's my problem with Infinite. I feel the same.
Yeah.
I was playing through it and I'm like, it feels like BioShock. That's great.
Mhm.
But it doesn't stand out to me.
Yeah.
Like I like the underwater scene better. I like the fact that the what do they call them? The plasmids were there before. Whenever they changed them into Infinite, wasn't as engaging to me.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep playing through it. And then the ending. And
The
like,
ending of part one is still hands down one of the greatest video game endings of all time.
play 3, play Infinite.
It
Your
beats
mind,
it?
your mind will
Mind.
Maybe I don't want you to
fuck.
spoil it now.
Oh my god.
You're the bad guy,
No,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the bad
But
guy.
like,
they
in-
call you the devil the whole game.
in the way it brings it to you, it was just insane. I remember watching it the first time, and I guess I'll try to explain it a little bit. But you're going through, and you finally kill General Comstock in the game that is there. He's the
Mhm.
bad guy or whatever.
Is that
And
that
then
big bird thing that's
the-
protecting?
Well, the big bird is, I guess that's Songbird. He comes
Mhm.
through eventually, and then something happens, and Songbird drowns, and Elizabeth's like, just let go. It's okay. It's all right. So Songbird dies, and then she takes you through a door, and then she opens the door, and it's like BioShock 1 with the bathysphere. And so you take the bathysphere or whatever it's called, and
Oh,
you
wow.
go, and then you pop up, and then it's like you're back in again BioShock 1 when you
Rapture,
the lighthouse,
the plane crashes and there's a lighthouse. So you go up and you go in the lighthouse, you open the door of the lighthouse, and then there's just millions of other lighthouses. And he's like, what are all these lighthouses? They're like, these are all doors to different dimensions. And there's, a version of you and I in every dimension. And you see another version of them walking at another bridge across from you that you can't get to. And you're like, this is crazy. What is
Yeah.
this? So basically, you go through and she shows you all these different things. And it shows you, like, she's missing a part of her pinky. And it shows you how that happened because he, like, sold her to wipe away this debt. And in the process of it, he was like, no, I forget. I don't want to do this anymore. And he tries to pull her back. And then they're like in a portal, and the portal closes and cuts her pinky off. So you realize that's how she missed her part of her pinky. And you're like, okay, so this is
Yeah.
all kind of coming back. Fast forward, and you get to this part where basically he was like, I guess Booker was in the war or whatever, and he wanted to wash away that old person. So they take him to like a lounge or a lake. And they're like, oh, you want to, he goes up and he's like, yeah, I want you to wash away my sins. But then he's like, and then she's like, you ran away though, didn't you? And he's like, yeah, I did. He's like, well, why didn't you want to do it? He was like, I just didn't think I wanted to do it at this point. And they were like, they go through another door and it's the same place. It's another lake. And he goes up and she's like, basically saying, this is where it all began. And he was like, what are you talking about? It's just the same place. We were just here. And he was like, well, this is the first time that Comstock has ever been a person. And you said that you wanted to go through and kill him, right? So this is how we're doing it. And they just lay him down and baptize him in the water, just drown him. And you're just sitting here like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like I literally watched it, and then there's like 8 different versions of Elizabeth in front of you when it happened, right before it happens. And they all help you down and then just drown you. And then slowly, one by one, they just disappear because now all the other worlds are being corrected. Now the original version is dead. And I'm just sitting here, and this is me afterwards. I'm like,
It's like when the multiverse hits you in the face, like it's Marvel. Now, was Elizabeth somehow was connected to the little sisters?
that's a good
I don't
question.
think
I don't
so.
think
She looked like them.
Yeah.
With like a healthy,
Yeah, like when you save a little sister and they turn into humans again, they kind of look like Elizabeth. That's why I thought I didn't know if they were going to tie that in.
I don't know if they
And
do.
the Infinite was kind of interesting because it
I
kind of
don't
played
think
in,
they do.
it played into like racism a little bit. Like when you got there, like they hated black people. Like it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like it was Part one, like I said, the ending of part one was absolutely incredible. The would you kindly, and then they kind of like, and you're like, oh
the
shit,
golf club.
yeah, it was awesome. For me, I mean, mine may be a cop out, but I think some of the most exciting moments I had were I remember getting up my chair and just laughing and having a good time. We used to play the old SmackDown games, and we used to on the PlayStation, you would put a player in player one, a player in the expansion thing in player two, and then you would put 6 other controllers in. And that's how we played SmackDown. Like every time we played, it was just and this is when SmackDown got rid of like you can make your own story modes. So we literally would just create our own like matches and our stories and created characters. We had so much fun with that. And I remember the first time I played Battlefield. Vietnam was there, but I like Battlefield Online. The first time it was Battlefield, and remember just taking out an entire house, and I was like, "This is a game changer." And then another huge moment too, and where I just remember losing my shit was Gears of War 1. Like I just remember playing through Gears of War 1, like this game is just unbelievable. Like, and then going through and playing on Insane with my cousin, and like you just keep dying and dying and dying and dying, and it just I don't know. Gears of War 1 will always have a really, really big place in my heart as a video game, just because like it was such a different game.
Like it was a third person shooter, which has been done, but then like
that
you're getting sawed in half
and then the cover system. It was just the only other game that I remember playing that I was like, man, this is so different. And then it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of turned into Gears of War, and it's gonna sound super funny saying it.
50 Cent Blood and Sand.
50 Cent Blood and Sand.
It was Gears of War. It wasn't bad.
I remember playing it, and I'm like, all right, regardless of how corny this is of 50 Cent, this is a really fun game to play.
It was, yeah.
Same with what was the one, the John Woo one where you like dive
Stranglehold?
Yeah, that was like one of the first 360 games.
Yeah, that was insane too. And then Brink was a really interesting.
I loved Brink.
I didn't like Brink at all.
Yeah, it was such a different style game, and then obviously like Titanfall was a huge one too. I remember just playing like just the first couple rounds you play, you're like, you get that feeling like you've done something you've never done before, and they're some of my most exciting moments of playing video games where it just catches you off guard because you didn't expect that to happen. I think they would definitely fall into that category with me, where just did not see it coming, and it was just like
that's the best part.
Yeah.
That's one of mine. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, when you beat the first castle, and it was like, oh wait, there's a whole other upside down castle. So the game's double the length. I was like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Yeah,
double the pleasure, double the fun.
Yeah. And that was cool. And when Injustice came out, I got a midnight release. We played it till 4:30 in the morning, trying to get all the achievements, everything. It was like, oh, Injustice, yeah, it's Mortal Kombat with DC characters. So we had fun with that. I had a lot of fun when I played WoW. I used to raid years ago. And
WoW was really cool
and
too.
And then I lost interest.
WoW is I always say WoW is the biggest online multiplayer game, but the loneliest game if you don't know anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind soloing and stuff, but like when you were
went
part
to
of a
level
guild,
1 through 60 with a panda because I started playing.
I was done way before that.
Yeah, I played the panda expansion. I got my panda from 1 to 60 and never talked to a human being.
Really?
I quested all the way to 60. I didn't know how to do dungeons.
What character? What class?
I just picked a panda monk. It was
monk. I wanted to be a panda. I was like, man, I wish they'd make pandas in this game. And then I was probably out.
I'm normally not into. I don't like RPGs. I'm usually not an RPG guy. I don't like turn-based where like I hit you, you hit me. I remember playing, and to this day I'm still looking for part 2. But one of my favorite games I remember playing with a group of us. That was one of the first games you could play online. Was Champions of Norath.
Oh yeah, I have it.
I'm looking for part 2. I have part 1.
Yeah, I might have 2.
Champions of Norath was so much fun. Like it was such a
the Shadow Knight's a little overpowered.
It was such a good game. Like, and I remember playing that and it just being like, this is unbelievable. And then
some games are fun, like the dungeon crawlers with multiple people.
And then the 2 Def Jam games. I remember we played those till 5 in the morning.
Really? Yeah, I just played it by myself. Like, this is great.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? What was some games that were super super exciting?
Guitar Hero. My friends.
You're gonna be kind of surprised at this a little bit because
it's probably something a little weird.
No, it's gonna be Tetris Attack for the Super Nintendo,
and here's
weird. Yeah.
So my mom really got me into video games like way back when. Like we would even like play through like Turtles, and she was that cool that we would play through Turtles in Time.
Wow.
And like we got a little glitch where I was like Leonardo and I like got frozen and Leonardo was blue for like the whole game. I'm like, oh shit, I want to beat the game as blue Leonardo. I'm like, oh, get out of here. Well, my mom was playing Tetris Attack on the absolute hardest difficulty way back when. She had 3 continues.
Is that the
left.
world?
That's the one where you flip the blocks around, you do combos and shit.
Is that the one that was for the N64?
No, just the Super Nintendo. That's the one where
What was the Tetris N64? Was it
Tetris Worlds?
Tetris Worlds, yeah.
That was a fun game.
Yeah. But
See, I played.
You had to break it down to the core of the planet.
Yeah, I played puzzle games for about 5 minutes. Like,
this one was just
I get the point. I'm
you
done.
go down, you have to switch everything around. You do combos, and then like if you do the combos, then you have like larger bricks and all. Well, my mom finally got to Bowser, which was the absolute final level, and it was the last continue that she had. She goes, "Okay, let's go, let's do this," and cracking her fingers. She pulled off a 60 chain fucking combo on the computer. Like, put it this way, it was like it took like a good 2 to 3 minutes for everything to go like and like it changed so well. It went like the fanfare for it was fucking nuts. It was like a 10-second fanfare that went for it. And I'm like, you fucking like a little kid, you're going nuts because your mom just did something really cool. And you're like, I'm like, whoa! I can't believe this. Like, and then my buddy that's gonna be coming over for the weekend. He always comes up for the block party and all. So many good times with him introducing me to Symphony of the Night, like way back in the day, and doing like Super Mario RPG when you're getting to like the last portions of like getting the special
Power Rangers.
Well, not the Power Rangers, but just like getting to Bowser's castle and like doing the hard shit. It was just like it just fascinated me so much that I'm like, holy shit, like this is pretty wild. Like just like those kinds of things. And
how about Airy Stallion?
What's that?
Yeah, I had to watch my mom play Castle or Clock Tower because I was too scared of it. I was how young I was. I had to watch my mom play it, and then my dad was like, I remember my parents were both gamers as well. Like they were the ones who had the Nintendo, and then they bought the Super Nintendo, and then I used to watch them play, and then I was allowed to play. But I kind of grew up in a gamer household too, and then
my mom couldn't play,
and then my dad would borrow my PS2, and then I wouldn't be able to play because my dad is a Grand Theft Auto style games. He'll play those until and like you're like crying like please can I have my system back? He's like put the cops around me, put the code in, and then I had to write all the codes down for him. But yeah, I remember my dad. And then when he played the Grand Theft Autos, and then he liked the Godfather games.
Okay, I never played those.
They were like Grand Theft Auto but Godfather. Yeah. Then they had the Scarface one.
No, Italian Job.
Yeah, there were so many of them. Mafia 1 and 2.
Yeah. And another like thing excited for video games, like when Pocket Change was still open, or like time out in the Fairlane Village Mall. My grandfather would be like, "Hey, I'll take you to the arcade." I'm like, "All right, arcade," and then like that's how I got to really.
We're getting a Dave & Buster's in Allentown.
Yo,
really?
Yeah, I went to Dave & Buster's. It's a big letdown.
Really? Go with round one. Rygon goes. I go with Rygon once in a while.
That's really far though, isn't it?
Not that bad.
Where?
Round one, and it's like in Exton. There's one in Exton, and then there's one that we go to Middletown in New York.
Oh, that's far.
That's far, but I mean, he drove, but I mean, it's
there's one in Philly.
Easy
road,
it was all the easy all the way up.
It was all the games like there's a Walking Dead shooter, and you walk through and like these are okay.
No, the round one you definitely want to go to because they have a whole bunch of stuff. They have like bowling, they have a bar there, they have like all these arcade.
I heard
games,
the works in Reading is really cool. It's like a Dave & Buster's, and then they have go-karts.
Yeah. The arcade is
I haven't
a little
been there
lacking.
in a while,
but there's 2 go-kart tracks. I think.
Yeah, go-karts, and then they have a trampoline room, I believe too.
They do.
Yeah.
And escape rooms. Escape rooms are amazing.
I've never done one yet.
Me either.
We should do like a podcast escape room, like go as a team and see if we can do it.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
What if
what?
I think the works is getting an escape room.
They have.
He said
they have 3.
Oh, they have already.
Yeah.
What if we do it right? We pay, we're all excited, and like there's like a shortcut, and we do it in 2 minutes. And like, oh.
Well, me and
rip right through.
I want a themed escape room though.
Yeah.
Well, they're all themed.
I want like a horror movie. Like I want a Saw
I think.
There is one
where I like chain
somewhere.
Ben's leg to a pipe.
Oh God.
Why me?
There is one that we did. Now me and my fiance do a lot of them, and right now actually last time I checked, we have one of the fastest times for one of the ones in the works.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But there are
Now,
some few that
if you were to go back, is it a different puzzle?
no.
Okay.
It's just, you can't do it more than once.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, but there's a ton around here now. It's great. But what was I going to say? Holy cow! I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I couldn't. But it was the
There's one.
Oh,
Lancaster,
there's
too.
one in Bethlehem.
I think so.
That is it's kind of like that. There is another one in the Reading. I think it might actually be it's in, where is it?
Lancaster has two,
There is
I think, and Harrisburg has one too now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one in Reading somewhere, not West Reading. There's one in an encrypted escape room called in West Reading, and we've done almost 2 out of the 3 rooms there. Great, but there's one in Reading somewhere that has a murder themed one where you're trapped in
Cool.
a cellar and you get murdered. And there's one in Bethlehem that's like a crazy scientist that if you don't get out in 60 minutes, he's going to murder you. So they're amazing.
I want a Snorlax beer. And you're on a chat. Thank God it's something creepy.
Nope.
That's okay. Creepy's all right. Oh,
Yeah, I want a
yes.
I want a Snorlax.
Oh, look at
beer.
those.
But yeah, so here's another fun thing. We're talking video games. Can you guys just real quick, like, can you think of a moment in a time where, remember when the Easter eggs were a thing, but we didn't have the internet,
Mhm.
so we're like it was always like rumored down the pipeline, like we heard.
Warcraft's naked.
That's exactly where I was going to. If you got through the house in a certain amount of time, Lord, you can open a
Yeah.
secret door, and when you open the door, you can get Lara Croft
In
naked.
Mortal Kombat 2 had nudity, you know, it didn't.
Yeah. And I remember just watching your buddy play for 4 hours trying to get out of the mansion.
Just to see pixelated tits that are
Yeah, that
terrible.
never existed. Another one that I could think of off the top of my head was, remember everyone talked about there was a secret thing in like possibly Luigi in Mario 64.
Oh no, I never heard that.
Like there's a
I
spot
think I remember that.
there's a spot where you have to put a star in
Mhm.
like a fountain, and if you turn your camera the right way, it said Luigi or the missing Luigi or something.
Yeah.
And then that or people said you can get Yoshi on top of the castle,
Okay.
Mhm.
and that
Well,
was
that one was actually true though. It
Yeah.
gives you like 100 lives.
oh
and
yeah,
special
that's
jump,
right,
too.
that's right. But that's how it started. Like someone found Yoshi, and there was like Luigi's in it, and then
Yeah.
it would just start a witch hunt.
Oh wow.
Is there any other ones in video games that you can think of where
It's funny because they added all them for the DS version.
did that?
Yeah.
I know I've never personally played it, but there was I think a cheat with one of the old Metroids where if you named your profile
Justin Bailey.
Justin Bailey,
That's her boyfriend's name. That was the rumor. But it was the programmer.
it was the program. Samus would show up outside of her suit.
Yeah. And she had long green hair because when she would die, she'd go, she would explode. You'd see her for a brief second. When you beat the game, she'd take your suit off.
Yeah.
And you get her.
How many
different
games in before you find out Samus is a girl?
Technically, the first one when
Yeah.
when she dies. When she
No,
dies, she doesn't
no,
explode. Now.
you-
When you
you
beat
mean
the
like-
game.
Didn't everyone think for the longest time Samus was a boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
but
no, it's a
in-
lady. Come on,
Well, you could kind of
you're killing me.
Well, if you beat the first game, you see it. But who beat Metroid back then?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, really.
So probably Super Metroid.
Can you take the bowl in there with you? Like
But I don't think they show her
she's
face
eating
in that at all.
harder than
Oh,
she's
they
ever
do.
eaten her whole
Yeah.
life. She only does this
So
as soon as we go
hungry.
live. She's like, now I gotta eat everything. Oh, she drives me crazy. She drives me
Maybe
crazy.
Super Metroid. It's been a while since I played Super Metroid. Now Metroid Fusion are like they have cutscenes. in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh yeah.
Now, as a
I'm
Halo,
fine.
as a Halo fan, do you think we'll get Master Chief's helmet off in this new one?
No, I don't.
I don't think you
Um,
ever will do it.
Yeah, I don't think they ever, just because
I don't think they
it's-
should.
I thought about it for a while, and I think when you beat 4, he does take it
Yeah,
off,
and he sets it down.
and he sets it down, and you never see it. And like the trailer for Halo Infinite, he also has it in his hand and then puts it on, so you never see him. But I feel like one is like I kind of want to know what Master Chief looks like, but at the same hand, it's like then if he looks totally like something like what if he's like got like 3 teeth and like one eye,
yeah.
and then you're like,
what-
you know what I mean?
Somebody from the bleeding line in Shingo.
Is
He's real dorky looking.
is Master Chief? What race is Master Chief?
Yeah, like who
Is
knows?
he a white guy? Is
Because
he a black
he
guy?
just does that
Is
voice
he
you
a-
were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I'm here to save the day.
Yeah. Is he
Arbiter has the best voice.
Yeah.
His
Is
voice
he
awesome.
is he
Keith
Asian?
David.
Is he Hispanic? What is Master Chief?
You know, they used to
I
when I
don't
worked
know.
at GameStop, they used to call me the Arbiter because I would always, especially when a Halo game was coming out, I would like mimic his voice and answer the phone.
Yeah.
Hello,
You know
I
what?
am the Arbiter.
I literally
That's
just
awesome.
remembered how I remember you from GameStop.
Yeah.
Yes.
How?
I used to be like, oh, that's the dude who reminds me of Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still get it. I still get it. Even prisoners, you know, inmates will call me either Seth Rogen or I've gotten Blake Griffin. I guess he plays basketball.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people call me Clark Kent.
Really?
Yeah.
His glasses, I guess.
I guess.
So
I don't
he
know.
used to have like a bigger, like really like a fro, like a little
I
fro,
had a used to- yeah.
and then he had like the mutton chops, and I was
Yeah.
like, you look like him in 4-Year-Old Virgin. I was like, holy
That's
crap,
funny.
it's Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's I literally it just popped in my head for some strange reason. When you said people say I used to do the art, like no, people say you were Seth Rogen.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
still do that. I actually like legitimately had a chick once like geek the fuck out on me.
Really?
Oh my god, it was like 2009. I remember it was yesterday. We went to Sonic up in I think it was the one in Hazleton right there. No, it was probably the one by Morgantown. I think.
Okay, yeah, Morgantown. That was the one
And-
my friends used to go to.
I went up there and we order or whatever, blah 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 blah, and the girl comes out on skates, you know, to deliver our food to us. So she's looking down and looks up at me and goes, bah, bam, there goes the whole
Oh,
plate,
God.
all the food dropped. She goes, oh my god, is that Seth Rogen? I'm like, no.
No, I'm hungry.
She goes, oh my god, you sound like him too. She's like, can I get your number? I'm like, no, you can't.
Can I get some hamburgers?
It's like, yeah.
It's
It's like
like,
the-
do I have to say it again? No.
I don't even like talking about the ones people think I get, but we went to Dominican Republic and they told me I was him, and I was like, how? I'm fat as fuck, I'm out of shape. The person I get is like super in shape and muscular and way more attractive, but the people from Dominican Republic thought I was Mark Wahlberg.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm like,
Marky Mark.
I am
Marky Mark.
I am Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and they gave me an entire plate of sushi,
Really?
and I don't eat sushi.
Oh, so it's
Did you
So-
at least sample?
No, I left it there, and I felt terrible because
Ugh.
they like movie man, movie
Yeah,
man,
movie
movie man,
man.
and they brought me over a plate, and I was
I
like,
am the movie.
I was like, I am not that guy. Yeah.
You know,
Oh, God.
speaking of that though, people I had no idea because when we went to China, like we just went with a group of people, whoever bought the trip, and one of the other guys was like a black guy, like a dark black guy. You know, his name is Giovanni. Cool dude, great. Hung out with him a lot.
How did he do in China?
yeah.
Amazing. They were like some of the places we went.
Well, they're
were like,
probably wowed because he looks so different.
yeah.
I mean,
they
not
had
to be. That's
no
over there.
bullshit. That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
Were they
Like,
like
we-
touching his hair and stuff?
Yeah, we went
I knew
to
it.
this place called I think it was the Temple of Heaven, and out it was mostly a lot of the rural Chinese people go there.
Hmm.
So if they see people like us, or especially people like him, it's only on TV. So they were sitting there literally Skyping like their families and taking like
Like
photos with us.
Americans.
And they're like, look at these people. I can't tell you how many pictures and videos that we were part of that day.
Really?
I have no couldn't tell you. There was
I was just taking my shirt off.
yeah.
I would have Bert Kreischer'd it. Just pop it off. Yeah, I would love to try to go. Like, I want to go to another country, but I don't. In the same token, because every time I get in a plane and I'm
Right.
stuck there for more than
All
3
right.
hours, I'm like, I hate this. I want to get off this phone.
I'd love to go to Japan. That's
That
what
was-
I'm doing.
Oh, me too.
14 and a
definitely.
half hour flight straight.
I thought
Really?
about doing
Yes.
Japan,
My-
Japanese the Olympics in Japan.
Yeah, my buddy.
It costs a lot.
I knew a guy who went
Yeah.
to. He was a black guy, and he went to Germany, and the women. He said I was like declining more. Like
Yeah.
they just all wanted they all
Imagine
wanted them.
you've seen someone that you've never seen before. I know how dumb that sounds, but really,
Yeah.
like,
That actually I have two experiences where that could play into factor. So when I started hanging out with my friends, they're originally from New York. Their youngest brother, his name was Josh. I am like the first white dude he's ever seen. So when he seen me, he was confused, and he looked at his mom, and he looked at his brothers, and he looked at me, and he just went, "Dude." He called me dude for like 6 years. He just called me dude, and then it went from dude to Tony Blackwell. Like, I had my first and last name because me and his brother are the same first name. Tony.
okay.
So then Austin, when they used to come over hang out with me, they were a big family. So it was like the four brothers were always over there. The one time Tony was messing with Austin, and he kept taking his toy, and he kept taking his Ninja Turtle, and he went downstairs. He goes, "Mom, they're up there picking on me." She goes, "Well, take that. Go tell them to leave you alone." He goes, "They did, and they keep taking my toy." And he goes, "Well, who took your toy?" And he goes, "Tony." tell your brother to give it back. Not him, the brown Tony. That's because my little brother didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And then he drew a picture of us. I wish I still had the picture because it's the funniest fucking thing ever. So it's like a little kid, like horror movie stick figure drawings. So he drew me, and he drew him, and then he drew the entire family that had. Let's see, there was one, like 7 or 8 people, and he drew then black stick figures surrounding us.
Oh, that's funny.
And but to him as a kid, like it was like a family photo. But his stick figure looked like it was just like we were all naked, and then my one friend had like if his hair wasn't in braids, he had a huge afro. So like my buddy's afro in the picture was like 4 times the size of his head, and it looked like a weird nudist party, like because there's also like it was just so funny. But I wish I still had that drawing. It was really, it was really good stuff. But all right, well that'll wrap it up for our episode here. Thank you so much for coming, and you're always welcome. We do this every Wednesday and Thursday. Obviously give a heads up in case we have someone booked, but we can always squeeze another person in. Normally Nikolai's here, but he's been doing a lot of edits and video edits and stuff, and then
he's been hitting it hard.
Yeah, hit it real hard. We do have 4 mics, but like the cool thing about these mics is they're great for in here, but not outside. But that one person can share. We used to do 4 people with 1 mic, and it sounded perfect. So we can always have you back if you want to hang out and
absolutely
come up with cool topics, and we'll get you on interviews. And you like beer, we could have you on a beer show, and if you like pro wrestling, you can be on that one too.
I used to watch a lot of wrestling back then. Yeah. I was a huge Goldberg fan. I'll tell you what.
Oh, he hates me.
He's like, that's it. Show's over.
Yeah, Goldberg's coming back.
Like, he's coming back to
wrestle
Super
the Undertaker.
The Undertaker's back.
They're gonna do 1 match.
Yeah, but they're it's not
in Saudi Arabia.
It's probably not gonna be good.
It's probably not gonna be great.
No, it's gonna be
Saudi Arabia.
So pretty much the Saudi Arabian dictator pretty much told Vince McMahon, like, I have a shit ton of money, and if you pretty much put a house show on here and let me pick who I want to wrestle everybody, I will give you buku bucks. And Vince is like, God damn it, okay.
For 10 years they signed this deal, but he's kind of out of the loop, so he requested people that are dead, like Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna.
He wanted,
and he's gonna make it happen.
They're on their third one. This will be the third one.
Well, obviously Yokozuna, Yokozuna Warrior, but that was the first. He wanted Yokozuna versus the Ultimate Warrior, and they're like, we can't do that. They're dead.
Yeah.
He's like, cool. Then I'll take. Who was the first one? Was the first celebrity match was Triple H. Everyone has Triple H in them. Triple H and
I forget. But they got a sumo guy to replace Yokozuna to come out in this battle royal they had.
Yes.
Because they had the greatest battle royal, just 50 guys.
That was it, the greatest battle royal. And then the second one was they brought back Shawn Michaels out of retirement. It was Shawn and it was DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. And now they're doing Goldberg versus, like, why can't the Saudi Arabian prince be like, I changed my mind, I want Sting.
I'd like Kenny Omega.
Like, whatever happened to Razor Ramon?
He doesn't wrestle anymore. He was in bad times there, but now he's doing good.
Yeah,
alcohol
lost a lot of weight. He, at one point, he was like stroke. He was like 500 pounds.
I just remember him with the toothpick and the. You know what I mean?
Hey Chico.
Hey Chico.
Yeah, him and like it was like 5 or 6 superstars who were on the brink of death, and they all went and lived with DDP and started doing DDP yoga, and he literally changed all their lives.
Yeah, and now Scott good shape. He's not an alcoholic anymore.
Doing really good. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, man. But you're always welcome to come back. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you got going on, or you want people to look at?
Oh man, all I gotta say is I was out of it for a while, but I do stream. So I do stuff like League of Legends. I also do some Final Fantasy 14, which I don't know if anybody's into MMOs or anything like that. And I also sometimes do some shooters like PUBG. I don't do Fortnite. We're not getting there. But I do that stuff, and normally I work 2 to 10 p.m. So like when I go, like probably tonight, I'm gonna go home and stream. So probably some League of Legends if anybody wants to check out tonight.
Send us the link on Facebook, and we'll put it on the Facebook link. So when you go live, just say, "Hey, there's a link to my stream," and we'll put it on for people to watch.
Sounds great. And just real quick too, like real easy. I don't know if you can see the back of that shirt. That's it.
Yeah, you can see it.
Twitch.tv and then / right there.
DENAARI.
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds like a role-playing game.
Pretty simple. I mean, I you know what? I got it from, and this is probably one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy 11. It's an MMO.
Okay, yeah.
And I still play it. Like I still have my account active. I will say I'm still paying for it. I haven't played it in probably 2 years.
Is that the one that was on PlayStation 2?
And it was on PlayStation 2.
And then carried up. and you could play it on like Xbox, and then they moved it to PlayStation.
Until they
3.
finally came out, 14 was the replacement for it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's still that game will always hold a place in my heart. And when the level cap was 75, probably 10 years ago now,
I had a friend who was obsessed with it.
there was an end game armor set called the Denali set, Denali, and I just liked that word. I was like, man, and that set looks so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the game's population got so low, it like scrunched my server in with another server, and the name that I had was already taken by somebody on that server. So I was like, now I got to figure a new name. And right
Why
off the top
did the
of my
other
head,
guy
I
have
was
to change
like,
his name?
because I guess we moved to his server. So even though I had
should have been a random roll.
Yeah.
and I started playing the game the day the game came out in America, so nobody could be playing longer than I could.
Yeah.
But whatever. So, but because of that, I was like, well, what can I do for a new name? And then I was like, well, I like that.
Respell it.
I just change it. And
Yeah.
it just stuck.
Cool. All right, we'll definitely have people send your way. Andy, what do you got to plug?
Nothing really. I'll call you Power Ranking episode did come out. I just didn't share it, but it came out. So if you get subscribed, it would have came out. I forget what I named it. I think it was like we previewed Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Yeah. So and we talk about some other stuff too. A bunch of War of the Realms.
As soon as you share, we'll put it on the page.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, tune into Tornado Tag. We're gonna do Money in the Bank. We're gonna do Outbreak, and then we're gonna talk
Money in the
about
Bank review, and then a Double or Nothing preview.
And
so
Double
there you
or
go.
Nothing preview.
That's the whole show.
Yeah.
Right
So
there.
if you want to get back into wrestling, AEW is pretty much
the WCW.
starting
It's the new WCW pretty much. So Dusty Rhodes, who had two sons, one was Goldust, one was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was Stardust for a long time. He pretty much got sick of wrestling,
which was
got sick of
3
WWE.
years ago today. Someone shared that on Facebook.
Yeah, he got sick of it and left the company. And they're like, "You'll never be anything." So he kind of not piggyback, but there was a big thing happening in New Japan with a guy named Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and they had a thing called the Bullet Club. Kenny Omega, Cody joined the Bullet Club, brought them more stardom. Then they kind of just start taking over the New Japan and the indie scene. Then they got to the point where they're like, "We want to do our own pay-per-view." That pay-per-view turned into a thing called All In. Then the All In got attention from the Khan family, who own the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're pretty much like, "You want to have your own wrestling TV show again?" So it's going to be a weekly TV show on Tuesday nights in a couple months on TNT.
One of my buddies at work is super into it, and like he runs like what are they called? Like almost like Final Four for like the Royal Rumbles. He's
okay.
You bet $20 who's going to win. You know, he does these things, and he's into like I've heard the name Kenny Omega. I would have
dominated. I could have told you. I could have told everyone their sister that it was going to be Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I would have cleaned up in that. I knew that was the winner 13 months before that.
A lot of them will do it like you bet by numbers though.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like
you get a number.
Like you bet that number 25 is going to win. Like something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, because sometimes they get way too predictable. But yeah, that's some cool stuff coming up, and we'll be on that. We'll be doing that tomorrow on Thursday. What do you got, Ben?
Okay, well, banging beers. We're gonna be doing some sours and porters. Yeah, I know you're loving that.
What if there's one that's all the combined, a sour porter? That's possible.
One of the things that
I'm getting better with sours.
I think one of the things that I might be doing with our local sour resident, Scott Sharpie. We're gonna
Scott Sharp.
Yeah, no, local sour resident.
Yeah, but get it?
Like
That's
sours.
his name, like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Sour Sharpie. But
Sour Scott.
Well,
I
actually got some beers from Pizza Boy yesterday because him and I went and we tried out some good sours.
You get cans?
Yeah, we did get cans.
Right.
One of those cans was a vanilla cider.
Okay.
Apple cider, like
I
apple
would like
hard
to try
cider.
a regular vanilla apple cider.
Yo, it was good. It was like an 8%.
That makes me so sad.
Then there's other two. What we're gonna probably do for a sour sets for the weekend, we're gonna try two set sours from Hudson Valley. One of them's gonna be Moonwake with like dark chocolate and raspberry, and then the other one's gonna be like blueberry and hibiscus flowers.
And that's gonna be for Sunday's episode.
It's gonna be for Saturday. It's gonna be just two sets of like a
For
set
Saturday?
of beer. Yeah, we do like a live thing. We kind of did like, if Hudson Valley had a release, we try those same beers.
Oh,
at the
you
same
did
time.
it.
We did it one time
on.
We did.
You can do that on Banging Bears.
Just only Facebook Live. Yeah, we did it on we did it on the page. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But
other than that,
I'm
going to South County too, so I'm gonna get some gelato. So
cool.
Fuck yeah! I'm
Are you?
thrilled.
That's another beer company. Are you an Elder Scrolls fan?
Yes.
We have 3 Elder Scrolls beers.
What?
We'll show you off camera. Yeah,
I just have
Yeah.
to just to.
yeah.
And guess who got them?
Ben got
You.
them.
I forget
So-
the name. I forget the name of this Dragonkin symbol. I don't
This
know.
Dragonborn.
Dragonborn.
Yeah,
Dragonborn.
Yeah,
So
Dragonborn.
Joaquin.
That'll
Yeah,
wrap it up
Dovahkiin.
for things that weren't cool in high
Cool
school,
story that
and we'll see you next Thursday with guest Nick Sapko, and he's gonna bring some cool 3D prints. He has
That's
a 3D
cool,
printer,
yeah.
so he's gonna bring some cool stuff, and probably maybe we could buy
John
some.
Cena in there.
I don't know what he's doing.
Thanks for having me, by the way.
Not a
I think
problem.
I'll say that
Like I
out
said,
there. I
anytime,
appreciate
man.
it.
You're
Anytime.
fine.
I don't know what to do with
You're
my hands.
fine.
I don't know what to do with my hands, but that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much.
See you later, guys.
Like and subscribe.